Season began in March, and now we're in Daytona for the final race meeting of the season in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. It's the closest it's ever been going into the final race meeting of the season. As many as 8 drivers could win the title in the drivers, 6 in the AM category, and it's still all to play for pretty much in the team standings as well. 3 races coming up tonight, and the third and final race of the day should be Under the Lights, where we've seen over the years many dramatic races in the fight for the title. Welcome to the final race then, everybody. Alongside me, Adam Bath in the commentary box. For the final time this season, on the cameras it's Sam Kumar, and we've got Andrew Woodhouse with us as well, BSRTC race winner for this one. And Woody, just a quick look at the championship, it's so close. We've got Wojciech Savidovic at the top, and then Alex Simpson and Nicole Foggy joint second. There's plenty of points still on offer, and we could mathematically still see Stephen Baxter, who sits in 8th, being crowned the champion if things were to go his way.
Oh my goodness, what a night we've got in store for us. Hello everybody, good evening ladies and gentlemen. We will see a new champion crowned tonight. Will it be somebody winning their first title? Will it be someone like Wojciech Savidovic taking his 4th? Well, it's all going to transpire tonight. 3 rounds, 2 of them decided by the reverse grid. We're just in the very last knockings of qualifying, and looking at the gaps, Adam, it looks very, very close in the top sort of 9 or 10 places, really.
Yeah, just a few tenths of a second in it. Basically, we spoke, if you've been watching any of our broadcasts before, many of the drivers have noted that pretty much all of the circuits that we've been to in the Showdown are slipstream circuits. And we're seeing the effect of that here again today. We've been to the likes of the Glen, and we were at Monza, the dramatic Monza race meeting last week, where there was quite a bit of fallout from it. A few big names getting ruled out of the title fight, including our current pole sitter, Ash Sutton, Dave Baker as well, who's come so close on many occasions. He was Savidovic's biggest challenger last season, but he's going to be ruled out of the title fight today. And it's down to 8 drivers for this one. But looking at the qualifying standings, and just with the checker flag out now, it's Sutton on pole. He might not be able to win the title for himself today, but he will definitely be hoping to win it for CQR, because in the team standings, they are just 176 points behind Northern Lights Racing GT Omega, with just under 1,500 points left to play for. So that's going to be interesting to see. And the rest of the top 5 made up of Savidovic, the championship leader, McFarlane in 3rd, Baker 4th, Nicole Foggy in 5th, with the man who's joined 2nd with him in the championship, Alex Simpson, provisionally in 6th position.
It's going to be so good. I'm just excited to see what happens. The AM category is looking fantastic as well. Chris Wood leads the way by 15 points over Maciek Sakovic, then Michael Blake in 3rd, Adam Hadfield 4th. They're separated by just 23 points in the first 4. Then it's Mark Johnston, and then it's Daniel Brown. So basically, 6 drivers in with a chance, and 3 Simortal, 2 Team Mad, and that interloper from Scuderia Haggis, Adam.
It's almost shades of a few seasons ago, isn't it? Potentially with Paul Smith and Richard Gore fighting it out for the AM category, and then John Roberts putting in a blinder, a final race meeting to pip them to it. I wonder if the Scuderia Haggis car there of Dan Brown could do that, and it shows what a result it was for Simortal a few weeks ago, where they got that 1-2-3 finish. That's really helped them out in terms of the Pro-Am Championship. The starting grid on the screen then, 41 cars for the final of the season. Bumper grid as always in the BSRTC, and we can run you through it. Ash Sutton starts on the pole, Wojciech 2nd, Wojciech Savidovic, Ross McFarlane in 3rd, Dave Baker 4th, then it's Nicole Foggy and Alex Simpson. Nothing to separate them in terms of points, a position between them on the grid. Michael Hall 7th, then Jamie Rushworth 8th, Sven Glatzel 9th, and 10th Pete Harrod. Then we've got a trio of AM drivers, Dan Brown 11th, Adam McNally 12th, 13th Rusty Laidler. Laidler getting ruled out of the Pro-Am title fight in Monza after the start line wreck in the final race. Stephen Baxter, he's the lowest place driver that can win the Drivers' Championship. He's starting in 14th here. And then a 15th George Simmons for Apex Racing, trying to help Apex get as many points, try and fend off the attack of CQR Academy in the team standings. Then Jake Blackhall 16th, then Kip Stevens, 2-time champion in 17th, Jack McIntyre 18th, Mark Johnston 19th. Good to see Stelian Shepelevsky back, drafted in to help Apex get as many points as they can after Brian Holmes managed to injure himself with a sledgehammer in the build-up to this one. Answers on the postcard, please, for that. Adam Hadfield 21st, then Chris Wood, Daniels, Michael Blake, and Colin Cunniff in 25th, 26th for Stuart McFadden. And then we've got Martin Front, Mark Woodhouse in 28th, Christian Rose 29th place, who's getting much better in the car as the race meeting progressed, and Paul Smith in 30th in the Team Mad car. Pete Newman 32nd for Craig Williams, then Maciek Sakovic, Tristan Bodis, Lee Deemer, Ronald Moons, Craig Evans, and the cars at the back of the grid. You all noticed there from the timing tower that Stephen Baxter's going to be starting from the pit lane for this first race. It's Jack Sedgwick, Max Wright, Nathan Davis, and Scott Malcolm. Get set for a rolling start, and it's another dimension to this final race meeting of the season. The drivers, Andrew's so used to doing the standing starts over the course of the season, but now they've got to race into the first corner at racing speed pretty much, and hope that the tyres and the brakes are up to temperature by the time they get on the pedal.
Yeah, of course, the rolling start implemented because the grid is sloping to one side, of course, slightly banked. So it's very difficult to get these Kia Optimas off the line efficiently. So the pace car brought in for that effect. What a massive blow for Baxter, though. He is the last man who can win the Drivers' Championship. 145 points behind. He's going to have to charge through the field in order to get something done here. How exciting is this? Sutton, 2017 British Touring Car Champion. Wojciech Svidovic, 3 times the British Sim Racers Touring Car Champion. And Ross McFarlane, David Baker, Nico Foggy and Alex Simpson. That's your top 6. And, well, we've still got Sven Glatzel in there as well. Jamie Rushworth. Pete Harrod still available to win the championship. Here we go, Adam, as they head into the Tri-Oval. Now, we're going to see it.
All right, good luck to everybody here. It's the final race meeting of the season, and the first race of the day is underway at Daytona International Speedway. Sutton's got a decent start. He's been able to distance himself from Wojciech Svidovic going into the first corner. It's all going to be about which drivers can make it through without incident. Everybody pretty tentative thus far, and all of the main championship contenders in the top 20 at least, all getting through without incident. A good start from Jake Blackwell, by the way, up to 13th, and a bad start by Adam McNally down to 15th as we go into the horseshoe.
Looks like everybody's through okay. Very minimal contact, which is always nice to see. Can't see anybody dropping down the order so far, so that's very, very good indeed. By BSRTC standards at least. All jockeying for position into the middle hairpins, and looks like Sven Glatzel made a little bit of contact with the back of Michael Hall's car, and there's some slight issues as somebody ended up on the grass on the inside of one of those hairpins. There may be somebody falling prey to a slowdown penalty for that action in the middle as they fan out onto the back straight.
Looks like one of them might have been Stelian Chepelevsky. He's very used to racing around this circuit in the rallycross cars, but he's in the BSRTC today.
That's why he was on the inside on the grass then.
This black stuff, I'm not used to this. Yeah, he's now going to have to get back into the swing of things here. Of course, in the previous years, he's been one of the drivers fighting for the BSRTC title as well, but he's racing here today to help Apex get as many points as he can, and he's a very strong and stable BSRTC driver. And here he is going through the bus stop chicane for the first time, and now we're going to see the slipstreaming begin now, going through the final 2 NASCAR turns on the circuit and into the Tri-Oval. It's complete the opening lap, and I think Wojciech is slowly closing the gap to the lead too as we come off a NASCAR turn 4.
Yeah, strong and stable, unlike the Brexit deal, as we go on to the back straight then. And you can see Sven Glatzel having a look then on Michael Hall. And the lead battle's being contested as well. Svidovic having a little look on the inside. Ash Sutton's not a factor here, though. In terms of the points, Adam, Wojciech Svidovic doesn't necessarily need to beat Ashley Sutton here today, although he would obviously like to get in front of the CQR man, pick up those few extra points that might be crucial. We've seen it with he and Sebastian Job in the past, and Andreas Katz, and those very tight margins.
Yeah, Ash Sutton was a thorn in the side of Apex Racing back in 2015. His collision with Andreas Katz in the final race at Daytona ended up handing the title to Sebastian Job. Now he's holding everybody up a little bit, so well, around Daytona it's hard to judge, but yeah, he's doing a good job so far, and you can see there, that's Alex Simpson trying to get past Nico Foggy. Both of those two separated by nothing going into this final race meeting of the season. Due to the drop scores and whatnot, Alex has thrown himself right back into contention here, but he's got 2 championship contenders in front of him if he wants to start closing the gap.
Tell you what, how good would it be if our colleague, a man who called these races for 4 years, jumps in the car in his rookie season and ends up winning the championship? Well, you know, secretly, even though I was supposed to be unbiased, I am rooting for Alex tonight. Hopefully he can get it done. Daniel Brown's dropping down the order though, Adam. He won't be getting it done, it seems, in race 1.
No,
or maybe that might be his AM category done and dusted.
Broken right rear or something, something wrong with the toe link, isn't there?
He's in a lot of trouble there. Is Brown.
Now,
I mean, it's possible he might be able to get that fixed, but he's going to have to get it done very, very quickly.
Now, racing on an oval, that's the kind of anti-roll bar, whatever you want, but I think it's been cranked a bit too far to the left. And
dear me, and that's the wall.
It's a safer barrier, yeah. That's where Danica Patrick had a big crash in a dual race a few years ago.
Well, and that fight might well be over for Brown tonight. He's 71 points behind. It's not exactly done and dusted for him after that, but he'll need an absolute miracle now. As Simpson now and Foggy going to battle once more. Foggy and Baker were very, very close together. Simpson tried to slip up the inside. It's now the outside for the following left-hander.
Difficult position for Alex to be in here, hasn't he? He's got Sven Glatzel right behind him. And then he's got Nico Foggy up front. Alex was talking to us just before he got in the car, really. He says he'd probably have to get a bit lively today to get some of those points in some of those positions.
Well, Sven Glatzel's no stranger to getting a bit lively out there as himself. We saw the troubles he had at Interlagos, but did pretty well at Monza. And, well, he kept in the fight. That's important. And he's got nothing to lose, really. 134 points behind. He just needs to go hell for leather and really try and just do a Daniel Ricciardo, lick the stamp and send it, really.
Interesting battle brewing for second place here. Wojciech Svidovic is getting a face full of Northern Lights Racing GT Omega in Ross McFarlane in third. And then behind Dave Baker, who's out of the championship contention as well after what happened at Monza last week. He's got Nico Foggy now on the boot lid of his Kia Optima. You'll probably see this during the evening, the car behind going up a little bit higher and then ducking back down so they can get the run on the exit, and that's what Nico Foggy's trying to do.
Yeah, trying to use gravity to help, which it does here at Daytona International Speedway in Florida. And look at this into turn 1. Turn 1 here is certainly, I think, one of the most difficult ones on the whole calendar. You've got to slow the car down, you've got to brake and turn at the same time. In a front wheel drive car, that's not the easiest as well. Don't want to kill those front tyres because they are your currency basically around here.
Wouldn't be too surprised if when they get on the brakes for that first corner, some of the rear tyres may even get off the ground a little bit. That's how much these cars are dependent on front wheel drive. Looking here at Sven Glatzel then in 6th place, got a decent view, and you can see there that he has got past Alex Simpson. So Alex demoted down to 7th place now, and just when it looked like the Apex car was going to try and get past Foggy, now Glatzel's trying to get past his Northern Lights Racing GT Omega teammate here, going into the final corner on the infield section.
Yeah, this is a great charge from Glatzel early on, really taking it to these other championship contenders and letting them know that he is still there. Simpson with the run now, just behind. Sutton and Savidovic still very, very close together, just 0.2 of a second. Same with McFarlane. Glatzel having to go slightly defensive into the bus stop. Simpson's cut the course there, I think. That'll be a slow-down penalty, Adam, possibly.
Yeah, it came up as red that he'd gone off the circuit. Doesn't look like he's having to slow down too much. Just on Glatzel.
Yeah, I think he is having to slow down a little bit.
Now, obviously, he's trying to do it as methodically as he can so that he doesn't lose too much time. But I think he will lose the places to Hall and Rushworth, 2 CQR cars that he's fighting for the title with.
And that's really a problem. Massive problem here. He's lost that front pack now. That'll be the last he sees of them, I think. And that's his second place in the championship, going down the pan. So Nico Foggy now in the driving seat in terms of that, but it's not second that Foggy wants. It is the BSRTC Championship. He's won a World GT Championship or 2 before. And Foggy now on his teammate Ross McFarlane, who, let's not forget, Adam, he's only 8 points behind Foggy himself. Yeah,
so it's a bit of a difficult situation here. They've both got the prized asset, Wojciech Savidovic, the championship leader, in front. But they've now got to work together and somehow fight each other at the same time as well. So This is going to be really interesting to see how they go about it. Northern Lights Racing, very well-established team now. They're pretty much racing in everything. Follow them on social media. They're doing bits on iRacing, bits on GT Sport as well. And here's a replay.
Here's Craig McLeod Evans. We're going to see some extracurricular activity from him. Oh, he's just disappeared. So that looks like a problem for the Scotsman.
Back to live anyway. This is the battle for second place then, and you can really see that Sutton's starting to distance himself. You'd probably say it's the biggest gap he's had of the race so far, about 0.4 of a second, as Wojciech defends the inside line going into the bus stop here. Lap 5 of what is going to be a 20-minute race. Here's the view from the rear bumper of the reigning champion in the BSRTC. Won the title in 2014, won it again in 2017. He's trying to make it 3 titles. Nobody's ever done that in the BSRTC. And he'll be the first person since Kip Stevens to win consecutive titles in the BSRTC if he can win it today.
There you go. Sudovic then on the march as usual. Just behind him is Ross McFarlane. Oh, McFarlane very deep into the corner, into the left-hander at turn 1. Foggy is just waiting a little bit, but can't wait too long because Dave Baker's here, and Dave Baker doesn't have anything to lose either. He's not in the title fight anymore, the Season 7 champion.
It's a mission to get through that first corner. You can see the different lines that the drivers take. It's all about getting through there, and Farlin just about keeping his teammate behind. And now Dave Baker fancies getting involved in the action here. He's looking to the outside, going into the second of the hairpins. Sven Glatzel very nearly getting up the inside and closing up that gap, but no way through for these guys. Alex Simpson's got past Jamie Rushworth just on a championship update, so he's now up into 9th position. Rushworth back down to 10th.
Quality of this field is just astounding, isn't it, really, when you consider that when we started covering this series in 2014, probably would have never seen these drivers within inches of each other at all times and driving cleanly, and you know, having these big long trains in race 1. They really have taken this series to a new level in 2018.
I think when we first started covering this series in 2014, I don't think we'd ever seen Alex Simpson in the car. If you're watching today, you'll probably be the last time.
Even if you'd have paid him, he might not have even done it.
It'll probably be the last time you see him in a car as well. I think he's making a return to single-seaters in the new year. So
there you go.
Biggest mover so far, by the way. Jack Sedgwick's gained 18 spots. He's up to 20th place. There he is, and he could be about to make it 19 places gained as he closes in on Team Mad's Chris Wood.
See, indeed, and Jack Sedgwick making his customary charge up the order. Nice to see Matt Bunn on the YouTube chat. Hello there. Oh, and Sedgwick, dear me,
great move.
Got it all wrong in turn 1. And he's been forced out by the Simauto car now of Mark Johnston. And he didn't make that pass on Wood because of the outbraking himself. So quite what Sedgwick would have wanted there.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get the move done on both of them. Got up the inside of the Simauto car, then just went a bit too deep, and straight away both of them got back past him. But Chris Wood now fancies a piece of the Simauto car. Of course, this is the Pro-Am drivers title fight. Chris Wood, the Pro-Am leader. Mortal car there of Mark Johnston also fighting for that title. They're separated by just 57 points going into this race meeting.
Yeah, these margins are very narrow all the way through the field, not only on the circuit but on the points table as well. Trevor Johnson's as surprised as other people of that Alex Simpson's in the Kia. Trevor's an old, well, definitely a veteran of Apex Racing TV from when it was ARL TV. And Ryan Walker as well, our colleague. So everyone's making it out to the stream tonight. Great to have you with us, of course. Like and subscribe and all that goodness. Press the little bell icon next to the subscribe button if you want our videos in your subscription box first. As you can see on the screen very helpfully, Adam.
Okay, yeah. Get the coveted first comment spot potentially. But
oh, there you go.
Here is Alex Simpson, then the man everybody seems to be looking at here on the stream. We're on board with him as he's trying to get past Dave Baker. get into 7th place and try and regain some of that ground that he lost. He's going to the outside here. This is the Alex Simpson line. We always talk about it.
It is. It's indeed. Can he make it work? And I tell you what, he was much later on the brakes that time than the two CQR drivers. Looking at the lap times, Simpson was the 2nd fastest man on the track behind Adam Hadfield on the previous lap. Hadfield going well in 14th place. You can see him actually at the very back of this group, Adam. You could just see the Simmortal car at the very back.
Yeah, the top of that grey roof. Grey, green and black on the Simmortal car. Hadfield in 14th place. And yeah, it is pretty much a train all stretching all the way back to 14th. And something that we're going to tend to see throughout the rest of the evening. Of course, we've got reverse grids for race 2 and race 3. And I wonder if we'll see a bit more of the slipstreaming battling that we have tended to see over the last few years here at Daytona.
Oh, and Dennis is here as well. I wonder if he's dusting that Ford GT off in the near future.
And that's the old Ford GT as well, isn't it? It's
yes, not the new one.
Not the new one.
Sutton, Savinovic, McFarlane then is the top 3, separated by not a lot really. You can see it on the screen. Sutton really dancing the car through the bus stop chicane. Savinovic with a better line actually that time, Adam, and he might actually get a little run here, potentially on Sutton, but he's declining the slipstream through NASCAR turn 3, and I wonder why that is.
Trying everything, but Sutton's doing everything he needs to do at the moment, moving up high and then moving back down again for NASCAR turn 4, and it's a great run by McFarlane too.
This is actually a very nicely timed bit of driving from Savinovic. I wonder if he will try it this time, or is he just going to nudge Sutton? See that there is pros and cons to this for Wojciech Savinovic in that he
contact.
Doesn't want to push. Go on, who is it?
I saw Dave Baker just locking up the brakes and slamming into the back of I think it was his teammate. Looked like a CQR car potentially. I thought he'd been disqualified then for a second.
Oh, he's disqualified? No, he isn't. He's back. And then Hall might have just got a little bit of the chrome horn there by Simpson. So it was Harrod, sorry, not Hall. As Glatzel dived up the inside of the CQR car.
Harrod trying to get back involved here in car number 6. He's in position 7 here. Alex Simpson now ahead of Dave Baker after what transpired down at the first corner. Jake Blackwell's off the circuit. He was just in the background of that shot. Has he blown the engine? Either way, it looks like his race is run.
And Australians and blown engines just seem to have been 2018 all over, haven't they? But let's have a look. Downshift, downshift, downshift.
No.
And then no power, it seems.
Too sure that.
It's a bit weird. Bit of a strange one for Jake Blackwell. But he's still there unless he's had to go and do something or
gone now.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Mr. Chaz Draycott on the stream as well. Commentator extraordinaire, of course. He said he almost drove for Apex Racing instead of Stellian Chepelewski tonight. I think they made the wise choice. We do too, Chaz. No offence.
Well, why do you wonder they didn't ask us to?
Yeah, it was almost the eye glazing massive on the stream.
Team Dial-Up could have been brought out of the ashes there.
One day we will get our internet reconnected. And now McFarlane, Foggy. Oh, Foggy now. Do you think he'll take the risk of strong-arming his teammate? No, Adam. It's a tough political aspect, isn't it, in this?
Well, Michael Hall now fancies his chances of getting past Foggy, so I wonder if time might be running out, or time has run out for him to get past Ross McFarlane, because in a moment he could be shuffled down to 5th place, and we've seen how difficult it is to get overtakes done so far in this opening race, that it might be a long way back for him.
Ben Gregory with 4-letter words about Josh Thompson on the chat. Always encouraged. Contact! And that's on the back of Savinovic was McFarlane that time.
He just drove straight into the back of him. And now it's McFarlane up the inside.
He's just hit Wojciech Savinovic.
Oh, this is a great opportunity for Northern Lights Racing, because McFarlane's now opened the door for Foggy to get back up the inside of Michael Hall here. And he has duly done so, surely, because McFarlane is on the inside providing the tow to his teammate. And Michael Hall's going to be pinned on our outside line. So, yeah, back through he goes. Foggy up to 4th.
I mean, they're working well in terms of not losing any positions. And now here comes Foggy then. And is this McFarlane saying a bit of after you, sir? It's a clean move. No defence from Ross that time. And we'll see if those two can get their way up to the top. I suppose there is something in it for them to work together, Adam, isn't it? If they can get up to Sutton and Svidovic, they might be able to ambush them as a pair.
Well, how quickly things have changed in the space of a lap. Just when it looked like Foggy was going to get demoted past Michael Hall, he's now in third position. But now McFarlane trying to get the move done on the outside here. Surely he won't be able to do that unless he gets a very good run and brakes extremely late, which he doesn't.
Simpson and Glatzel side by side as well. You can see it there at the back of the shot. Oh, this is tight now. On the outside, give me a good camera angle. There we go. Couldn't see that very well, but those two nearly came to blows. And Simpson dives on the inside and forces his way through.
Final lap of the race, you've got to do something like that. It's the final race meeting of the season, and you need as many points as you can get. So I think the gloves are off here in terms of getting the positions. Just wonder if Sven Glatzel might have, the red mist might descend somewhat going into this hairpin.
Here we go. Yep. Up the inside, lovely move though there. That was a clean move and a hell of a move by Glatzel. I must admit, I was a little worried given the history a little bit, but yeah, that was really good from both men. Excellent overtaking in this race at Daytona, round 97 of the BSRTC.
Just half a lap to go then to decide this then. Through NASCAR Turn 2, we go and onto the back straights. You can see there all the cars that are involved in the scraps. Nicole Foggy is just 1/10 of a second behind Wojciech Svidovic, and in turn they're only 2/10 behind Ash Sutton here. So all of a sudden it's come alive in the fight for the win.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's in this, aren't they, really? Here we go. This is going to be the final corner, Adam, and Svidovic.
Decent run, to be fair.
Well, he's got a great chance here. Fantastic chance. He knows how to play this last section, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. He lost out to Sebastian Joe by 0.000 in 2015.
Oh! And now he's on the outside, Wojciech Svidovic. He has the momentum. And look at Nicole Foggy for V-Racer, GT Omega, Northern Lights Racing. Oh, and it's Svidovic. Just about. Oh.
41 thousandths, it says on the battle graphic. We'll wait for that officially. It looked like the Wojciech got it at the line. Drag race here as Chris Wood comes across the line in 21st.
That's a positively massive gap compared to 2015, I think.
Well, it was a tiny margin of victory, but potentially big margin gained in terms of the championship. His 12th win of the season, and with Foggy in third and whatnot, could potentially be a crucial win.
Yeah, amazing race. At the end of the race, especially last two laps, were fantastic. Great fair battling all the way through the field. And yeah, a deserved win for Wojciech Svidovic. Ash Sutton will be disappointed, but the fact is, at this track, it's tough to keep the lead, isn't it? If you're leading on that final lap, it's hard to stay there.
Really is. And if you give and saw the run that Wojciech got as well on the exit of the bus stop, if you get a sniff of an opportunity, then you can use the banking in your favour. Great job that they didn't hit each other. Thought we were going to see shades of Tony Stewart and Carl Busch from 2009 there, but both of them all doing a great job. And we saw on the timing tower briefly there the state of the AM positions. It was Adam Hadfield that came home as the best AM driver, so we'll wait and see what that does in terms of the Pro-Am Championship as well, because Chris Wood was a little bit further behind him. So yeah, we'll hopefully, the points are just getting updated as we speak, so we can run you through the finishing. Well, I'm sure Woody, you can run us through the finishing order now as the results get brought up on the screen, and after that, we'll be able to bring you the updated situation in the point.
Yeah, indeed we will. Wojciech Svidovic then the winner. Official timing 0.04 over Ash Sutton. Nicole Foggy 0.06. Ross McFarlane in fourth, then Michael Hall, Sven Glatzel, Alex Simpson, then Pete Harrod, David Baker and George Simmons rounding out the top 10 with Jamie Rushworth in there in 11th, Rusty Laidler 12th, and Adam Hadfield 13th. Jack Sedgwick in 14th, and then the other Jack McIntyre in 15th, Stuart McFadden 16th, and then Stelin Chepelevsky deputising for Brian Holmes in 17th, Mark Johnston in 18th place, and then in P19 was Colin Cunniff with Adam McNally just behind him. Chris Wood in 21st place. We did cover that, so he might have just dropped down. It's going to be very close, who knows. We'll tell you shortly. Martin Front then in 22nd, Michael Blake in 23rd, Kip Stevens 24th, Magic Sakovic 25th, 26th for Christian Rose, 27th for William Daniels. Then it's Paul Smith in 28th. It's possibly his final season in the championship as well. Pete Newman in 29th, Mike Woodhouse 30th, Craig Williams 31st, Stephen Baxter in 32nd place. When he made the best of a bad situation, did Baxter, but could only gain 9 places from the pit lane. Tristan Bodis 33rd for Team Mad. Then it's Max Wright, Scott Malcolm, and Lee Deemer. Then Nathan Davis in 37th, 38th Ronald Moons. Jake Blackall we saw having issues a couple of laps before the end. And then the only retirements were the 2 Scuderia Haggis cars, 40th and 41st for Craig Evans and Daniel Brown, Adam.
There we go. Not the best start to Dan Brown's hopes of getting to the top of the Pro-Am category here. Points look like they have been updated. I think we can now cross off. I think actually they are still in with a shout. With 2 races to go, 210 points still left on offer. And yeah, that still means that the top 8 are still eligible to win the title. Yeah, Wojciech
Can I just say that your own Kaiser is the man?
Yeah, he is.
Getting these done that quickly.
Really has. Yeah, we can run you through the points now. Wojciech Savidovic has a 56-point advantage now over Nicole Foggy, who then has a 8-point lead over Alex Simpson. Ross McFarlane is 2 points behind the Apex Racing driver in 4th. Then it's Harrod and Rushworth. In the Pro-Am category, Adam Hadfield has leapt up to 2nd. He was, I think he was the lowest Immortal driver going into race 1. He's now leapt above teammates, including Maciek Sakovic as well, the Team Mad driver. He's now 2nd, just 13 points behind Chris Wood going into the 2nd race. And in the team standings, Northern Lights Racing GT and Mega now have a 141-point lead over CQR. So we'll keep watching that fight with interest. We've still got 8 drivers then in the drivers. We've still got all 7 in the Pro-Am category, and we've still got that fight in the Teams Championship as well to look forward to. So we've still got 2 races to decide it. Now it's time to hand over to Sam Kumo, who's got the reverse grid wheel at the ready, and we're going to spin it and see what twist is going to take place in the BSRTC for race 2 with the reverse.
Thanks, Adam. The wheel is on the spring and spin right now. I think we are in for a big reverse tonight with this kind of grid. But it's gonna be... unfortunately it is only 25.
25, well that is very interesting, and that is very good news if you are Maciek Sakovic, because he's going to be on pole for the 2nd race of the day. Kip Stevens 2nd, Michael Blake 3rd, Martin Front 4th, Chris Wood in 5th for this 2nd race. So very interesting in terms of the Pro-Am title fight, Woody, because we've got 2 of them inside the top 5.
Yeah, what great fortune for Sakovic in that one, and well, we'll see what he can do from the front of the grid. It's going to be very interesting. I feel like that race 1's a little bit calm before the storm, isn't it, here? Because it's absolutely ripe for maybe a couple of big accidents. We usually get them, and it's just a question of when around these Roval courses.
Really is. Looking forward to it. We've got 2 races to go to decide the title, and it's
My name is Steven Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the homepage of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. And from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types, you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
And Michael Tucker will be free to put down his foot whenever he feels like it. And we can now see them roaring through the final corner. And here we go. Race 1 of the evening is underway. Michael Abduka hasn't got an awesome start, and Jamie Ayres, if he wants to win this race, he's got to put some pressure on him going into turn 1. Abduka, though, covers the inside, and Ayres struggles to mount an attack, maybe into turn 2. He can have a chance, but just running a little bit wide as Jamie Ayres, and all of a sudden he's just dropped back a tenth or so. He's still looking to the inside, but he cannot make the move.
Always a good pace, is improving quite significantly in the last few rounds we've seen him in, and it's good to see him on P3, and Robinson is in the gravel there. Not so right, he's keeping it close. Oh, Clark is taken in the fence. Bad crash there.
Teddy Clark.
Yeah, also Underhill, I think, went into the gravel. Let's see, it might be two separate crashes. We got it on the back end of the camera shot, yeah. Oh no! Oh, that's what happened there. You know, beginning of the race I thought that Kallinan had pace to attack. Oh, no. Spin for Jacobson there.
Michael Abduka, though, is coming around the final few corners right now, and he is going to a pace car just coming around the final corner. Robinson can go when he chooses. It's Robinson from the pole position. Malcolm in second. Boy, does this matter in the AM Championship, and the overall championship is not decided at all as well. As Robinson pulls away. Brilliant start as well for Max Wright. He's already on the inside of Scott Malcolm, so that should be a simple move up in second place, but Malcolm thinks otherwise. He's going to hang it round the outside into turn 1, and going into Druids, the second and third place drivers are side by side. Max Wright trying to go down the inside, but Malcolm has done brilliantly to fend off him, although he is still a little bit wide. Josh Thompson has had a bit of a spin in the background, but still Malcolm is having to defend. It's Jamie Ayres running in 4th position, gaining a position on Rafe Cannon, with Michael Abduka so far unable to make a move, but here comes Jamie Ayres, and he's going to have a move on Max Wright. So Max Wright, Marco, challenging for 2nd position, and look at this, he may drop down even into 6th position now.
Yeah, and we have a huge mid-pack with 4 cars, Ayres, Wright, Kallinan, Abduka, all coming for the same piece of real estate, and Kallinan saves the car. Kallinan is trying to close the gap. Let's see the replay of the move here. Very brave.
Nice move.
Wow, that was very brave from Jamie Ayres.
Quite sure what his pace is like, but his racecraft is so strong, he may stand a chance. Michael Abduka is down the inside of Max Wright, and if he can just push out right here, he can't really do so because he took he wasn't comfortable with that line, but he has now pulled ahead, and I doubt Wright is going to be able to fight back into this next corner. Not much of a big concern, and Abduka moves up into the top 4.
Scott Malcolm will defend hard but fair as usual. Now on the inside, Abduka, good run in the first corner, side by side. Man, they are extremely close. There's nothing in it. Abduka will have the inside on Druids. Let's see. Can he complete the pass? He can. Nice move by Michael Abduka there.
Abduka can go chase down the top 2. You can see Josh Thompson just behind these 2 drivers, and actually Jamie Ayres has taken the lead of Colin Robinson. So I saw the gap was close. Here comes Max Wright, though, round the outside of Scott Malcolm. This would be an awesome move, but he is off the circuit, and he's going to lose a position to Josh Thompson. It could have been a whole lot worse than that. So he lost the position to Rafe Cullinan there.
Here comes the replay, going into Druids. Mistake from Robinson, I think. We went a bit wide. Ayres didn't need a second invitation and made the move quite easily.
And Malcolm, he's really been faultless so far today, and as we see Abduka already make the move on Colin Robinson. It is ever so close between Colin and Malcolm, and this final corner is where Malcolm particularly struggles, at least what I've seen, and he's trying to go for the move is Rafe Kana. They're both wide, and the driver who's going to profit from this is of course Josh Thompson. He's already made one move on Rafe Kana. Max Wright trying to get involved, and he's going to go to the inside. It's 3 wide going into turn 1 here at Brands Hatch. This is fantastic racing, and Josh Thompson has made that move. Max Wright was smart just to back out, and he is going to try to come back though. It's Rafe Kana trying to get the cut back, but Max Wright profiting from this, and there's contact amongst all 3 of them. Wright still going for the move, but eventually Thompson makes the mistake, and Cullinan only loses the 1 position.
And now we see the replay of what happened here with Scott Malcolm. Kalinan went through at Druids, then right. Ooh, he lost the car, didn't hit the barriers, so he is okay, but of course, position lost there to Max Wright for Scott Malcolm.
He's going to probably have to look for an alternative overtaking spot. Michael Abducker, maybe a bit of a surprise take into this one, but again, as it's very deep on the brakes, it does take us a slightly wide line. That might be a chance for Abducker, but down here, as long as you just cover the inside line, there's not a whole lot the other driver can do. But Abducker is going to go for the inside line here, and Ez has not covered it off, and this could cost him the race lead here. Jamie Ez round the outside of Michael Abducker. Abducker has got the inside for the next one, and he failed to cover off the opportunity for Abducker, and Abducker is round, and he's going to be in the wall, and the championship leader is in all kinds of trouble now.
Ayres is waiting for him, but the damage is done, I think, because Evdoka's car is completely smashed on the front right. Let's see the replay. That was a hard hit for Evdoka. I think he will have to stop for repairs.
So just a really poor lap, seemingly, this from Rafe Collins, and it has allowed Max Wright to close right up onto the back of him, and down the inside will go the Mercedes. We've seen the outside line from Scott Malcolm working several times today, and it's worked brilliantly for Rafe Cullinan this time, but he has not got this move covered. Still down the inside is Max Wright, but hanging around the outside is the BMW driver, and he's going to have the inside for Graham Hill Bend. Still side by side those between these two drives, and actually a much better exit for Max Wright. And this time there's no response from Rafe Cullinan. Max Wright moves up into 4th position. Now only one more corner for Michael Abducker to tackle. He's already got one triple this season at Phillip Island, and it looks as though he's building up to one today as well. He's a little bit wide though, and Jamie Ez might stand a chance here as they race to the line. The team Mercedes, who is going to win this one? It's Jamie Ez.
Jamie Ez is the winner.
I cannot believe it. Just as I was speaking up to Michael Abducker, perhaps lining up another triple today, it is Jamie Ez who has stolen the race victory by just half a tenth of a second. He will start on pole position for race 3. Jamie Ez leading the cars around, again dropping back as we've seen a lot of today, and he will now put his foot down, and Michael Abducker in 2nd position consolidates that 2nd position. And can he mount an attack on Jamie Ez going into turn 1? It doesn't seem like he is going to be able to, although he is into the slipstream. Ez has got to be watching his mirrors down into turn 1 and down into Druids as well. Ez a little bit deeper on the brakes. Abducker, nice run through turn 1, and he might stand a chance for 2. Ez has got to go defensive here, but he's very late to defend, and Abducker nearly had a chance down the inside.
Abducker was on the timing screen. Oh, look at that! Oh!
He seemed to have decent pace, and I think he would have kind of got quicker as the race went on. Michael Abducker is down the inside in turn 2 against Jamie Ez, but Ez has got the ideal line down into Graham Hill Bend, and he's held on to that P1 position, but he has not fended off the inside line. Once again, he's trying to almost squeeze Abducker on the inside, but Abducker will go around the outside, and he might even try to push out his opponent. They are side by side now, heading into the next quick right-hander, and they are side by side down the bridge as well. It's fantastic battling between these two, and Abducker is round the outside, and he's surely going to make this move stick. Yes, he is. Jamie Ez with no answer to that overtake from Michael Abducker. He just carried the speed round the outside, and he has taken the lead, Marco.
What happened to Anthony Jacobson? Oh, thanks Lapper. Oh, bad crash.
And he just carried a little bit too much speed. No, he clipped the grass on the entry, and that was how he lost the car there. He will not want to finish last of the runners, and I must say right now it doesn't look like he will do.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned because Malcolm and Andri had extremely short stops compared to the other drivers, so as Dimmer gets by, so we'll have to keep an eye on their fuel numbers.
Underhill doesn't have to rush this one because it's only a matter of time until he makes the move.
Wow, okay. Another short fueling car, and Malcolm just gave up on the battle.
It's not going to be the triple today. He's got it once before already in the season at Phillip Island. And after a mistake at the end of race 2, it's not going to be the triple, but it is going to be a double for Michael Abdoka. He rounds the final corner here at Brands Hatch and steps that one step closer to the overall title. Michael Abdoka wins race 3 here at Brands Hatch. From me, from Marco, and from Sam, we'll see you next time, and we'll say goodbye for now.
As we are getting ready for the green flag, sunset band is coming, and so is the green flag.
Jamie Ayres once again leaving a big gap, and he is still staying pretty much within the rules by just going a little bit wide. Gets a nice run out of that final corner. Lee Dima is relatively close, but I don't think he's going to be able to challenge him down into turn 1. No, he's a long way behind. With Cullen staying in P3 with Stephen Burke already gets him past Ronald Mees, and in fact Ronald Mees has lost another position to Chris Danes, so not a great start for him. That Ferrari power though, how strong is it down the straights? He is closing in a little bit, and maybe he can go for a lunge into this next hairpin, but I think he might think better of it. Maybe he won't do, because Chris Danes is down the inside and he's got that move done seemingly, although Burke is going to try to stay in there. Chris Danes though, Marco, brilliant start to this race from 6th to 4th already. Basically he's in a very good position, Jamie, yes. Whichever way you look at it, but he will still want to get in those points. Nice and early today, and Chris Danes, after an awesome start, is round here as Sebring, and he's right to the rear of the field. Once again now, going into turn 1, there's not a whole lot the defending driver can do, because look at this, it's such a wide entry into turn 1, and Rick Cullen will go down the inside once again, but Demon was prepared for it, and he's happy to just go round the outside. Cullinan, though, isn't happy to give in yet, and he might still have a chance going into turn 2. Demon can stick it round the outside there, and he'll have the inside for the King, but the outside once again for the next serious corner, and Demon has surely lost out this position, but Cullinan is a little bit tentative on the inside there, didn't carry the speed through, and he's given his Mercedes rival an invitation back, and he's also giving an invitation to Berg and Means to get involved in.
And we're back for the second race of the day here in the BSRTC here at Daytona. Incidentally, this version of Daytona is based on 2011, so where all those spectators are standing from what you're looking at now, they are no longer there. That grandstand on the back straight isn't there, so bit of an interesting fact there. But we're back for the second race, and a very interesting grid as well here on Apex Racing TV. We're alongside me, Adam Buff, and Andrew Woodhouse here. Maciek Sakovic starts on the pole for the second race, Pro-Am driver. We've been given some information during the break about how the championship is looking, and safe to say that it is looking pretty complex. Kip Stevens in second, Michael Blake third, Martin Front fourth, Chris Wood fifth, and the rest of the top 10 rounded up by Adam McNally, Colin Cunniff, Mark Johnston, Zelian Chepelewski, and Stuart McFadden, Andrew Woodhouse.
Yeah, it should be fun. And a lot of the AM drivers, as we said, at near the front of the field. And how can the Pro Championship contenders get through the field? That's the question. As round 98 going to commence very, very shortly. Around this. Okay, just a few technical issues with the overlay at the minute. But 24 degrees out there, Adam. Perfect, fairly cool weather, and of course this course right on sea level.
It is, yeah, just a stone's throw away from Daytona Beach in Florida. I haven't been to Homestead, actually. That is one circuit that BSRTC hasn't ever ventured to. Remember the Ritmatech Sports Car Series, when that's also in Florida. That's where they crown the NASCAR champion. This is where this NASCAR season begins. And where they have the summer race as well under the lights, which is where we're going to be for the final race. Where usually all bets are off when we get to that one. Point standing still pretty close. It's going to be Sakovic and Stevens bringing us to the green flag here. This could be interesting. Another 20-minute race in prospect. Pro-Am, and then another 2 AM drivers. Going to be looking forward to it. Safety car peels into the pit lane then. And there's the green flag. We're underway for a half-an-hour race, a slightly longer race than usual. Don't know what the thinking was there, but we're racing. It's 11 laps, that's why. We're racing.
Sakovic into turn 1 first. Getting a decent start under the safety car. Stevens dropping down one behind Michael Blake, who's also got away really well. And Blake, who been doing very well in the BSR Porsche as well. On Apex Racing TV, going decently at the minute. Martin Front and Colin Cunniff battling away with Zelian Chepelewski, having a look behind. In its 41 car field, you can see them all and pretty much streaming through the shot. Now contact between Chepelewski and Martin Front. Martin Front's off onto the grass.
How on earth has he not hit anything? Amazing how he's recovered that.
Now he's going to find it tricky to get back on without suffering contact, though, as they're all streaming by without really a care that there's a car off the track. And he just about does get back on, but back in about 36th place, Martin Front, so he's not going to be happy with that. He'll be happy with Chepelewski.
Nico Foggy got hit there. You can just look at him, you could see him get turned across. He's managed to carry on without any damage.
Glatzel thought about coming down just behind Pete Harrod, but I think the gap was closed. He's getting a slipstream off the top line now by from Christian Rose, I think that is.
Into the bus stop chicane, and for the first time, Glatzel having a little look at the inside. Baker takes a lot of that inside curve. I'd be amazed if he doesn't pick up a slowdown penalty there, because that was a lot. And the same too for that CQR Academy car through the second part of the chicane.
And I think that is a slowdown for Christian Rose, and it is.
More slowdown.
Jack McIntyre at the top serving a slowdown as well, and possibly also serving one is
Sedgwick, Hall too.
Sedgwick,
Harrod,
yeah.
Sorry, Harrod as well.
Oh man, so that's disastrous for Harrod. Early on, lap 2 of the race. Not even started yet, and Pete Harrod already dropping way down the order.
Ends a lap 33rd position. End of the opening lap, then it's Sakovic, and then it's a manic scrap behind. We've got Wood in second, Michael Blake in third, so it's a Pro-Am 1-2-3 here. Stevens has been muscled down to fourth, and he's now under pressure from Stelin Chepelevsky. Stevens now scrapping with Cunniff going into the hairpin.
What a start by Alex Simpson, Adam, as well. He's up to 10th place already. He started in 19th.
Might have gained even more spots than my time as Scott. I'm in 8th, but I think that's wrong. He's definitely in 10th. He's gained 11 spots. Sutton has also had a good start as well. He's gained 12. And now, there's contact there. That's Mark Johnston trying to battle with Adam McNally. Two drivers fighting for the Pro-Am title going into battle there.
Well, McNally pretty much out of the running. Well, definitely out of the running at the moment, McNally.
Of course, with the
his season effectively over.
Of course, with the drop scores in effect, it means that Chris Wood has a slightly bigger lead than it looks like without the drop scores taken into account. And he's sat in second place here as they go onto the banking again. He's got a teammate Sakovic in front, and then the first of the Immortal cars in Michael Blake in third. It's going to be interesting to see if these cars behind that aren't really fighting for the Drivers' Championship, even though Kip Stevens still has a mathematical chance. It's going to be interesting to see whether they decide to get involved in these three, because these three are definitely fighting for a title. It's a Pro-Am title.
Yeah, and he's getting down to that nitty-gritty at the minute, isn't it? Sakovic, Wood and Blake. You couldn't script this, Adam, and he's going to the top side. He's hit the wall. He's tried to go to the very, very high line, and as he suffered damage to the Kia Optima, it doesn't look like it, but maybe he's just damage to his pride, Adam. But Blake really vociferous in his attack, and now he's out of control under braking, but he somehow manages to get it into turn 1 properly.
I think he was very lucky that he hit the safer barrier as opposed to the concrete wall, which is a bit more forgiving. And he looks like he's carrying on. He's going for the lead, in fact, going into the hairpin.
He's up the inside. He bangs door handles with Chris Wood.
Getting pretty wild now, isn't it? Lap 3 of 11, and this is just allowing everybody else to close in behind. You would have noticed on the timing tower.
Flat out kink here. Dear me. Blake's car is all over the place at the rear. And now he pushes Wood wide. That's beautiful from Michael Blake. He really used that technique perfectly there. And now he's braking very late. He comes all the way across and round the outside. Now Wood's got the shorter line. Blake's got the better line for momentum. And now the outside line. So 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other, really, Adam, in terms of who's going to get the better run.
Yeah, it was almost 2 by 2, 3 rows deep there going through NASCAR Turn 2. We've now got shades of Talladega here on Daytona going down the back straight. Wood on the inside. Sakovic is going to Blake on the outside. Sakovic trying to find a way through there as well. There's a Apex Racing car, and through goes Michael Blake. He used the outside line, the racing line, to his advantage, and he's now in the front, back in the front. But for how much longer? Because there's still a whole lot more slipstreaming to do. Yeah,
tremendous stuff by Michael Blake there, but I feel that he's in a lot of trouble here because Chris Wood is on the prowl and he's now using that high line himself in order to try and slingshot past this Immortal car. Team principal there at Immortal, Michael Blake. Let's see then, across the line, who's got it? It's Chris Wood. Into turn 1, Wood brakes late. Blake brakes
too late.
Even later. Wood's trying to go the Alex Simpson line around the outside. Has it worked, Adam? It's tough to say. He's still alongside. Blake is not late enough on the brakes this time, and this time Wood uses the same technique that Blake used on him. Pushes him out and manages to regain the lead. Beautifully done. And now the car of Sakovic, Team Mad, trying to come through as well.
Yeah. Fully choreographed routines going on here. Everybody fighting for their own bit of track as Colin Cunniff tries to go around the outside of Kip Stevens here in the fight for 5th. Stevens, who's been pushed a bit down the order since the start of the race. You can see car 2 there is involved. Alex Simpson, who's gained 9 positions, more contact.
Down the inside comes Cunniff and into the quarter panel of Chepelevsky. All that does is really slow up the Scotsman. Didn't really hurt the Bulgarian. And now
here comes
Kip Stevens on the prowl.
Yeah, Mark Johnston getting past Colin Cunniff as well, so plenty going on here. Cunniff has to slot back behind this Immortal car, who's gained a few positions out of that. Here comes Chris Wood and Michael Blake. Blake back on the outside again. This is where he took the lead this time a lap ago, and he's going to do exactly the same this time. From the outside, he goes into the lead.
A few Ross McFarlane fans wanting him to get back into the top 20. Well, I've got news for you. He's 21st. So he's almost there, and his next victim is Rusty Laidler, although Laidler, of course, is not an easy one to try and usurp in the battle for 20th place. And Sven Glatzel behind, he's not easy to stay in front of.
Yeah, he couldn't have found two tougher drivers to get by, really. Rusty Laidler, we were finding out during the break, could still win the Pro-Am category, but it would take a remarkable turn of events where many drivers score minus point.
It would take witchcraft and magic and all sorts of things for Laidler to win it. He also needs to win the races. He's not going to do that from 20th, but... Oh, and it's getting tight through turn 1. And the resulting complex, you see smoke being kicked up as drivers going on the dirty line. Out there locking up the brakes as well. Kip Stevens getting a little bit of the inside grass as he goes through. I think it's that'll be turn 5, wouldn't it? I think technically.
This is the pressure is building here. There's quite a few cars getting involved. I just wonder when the champagne cork's going to blow off. And
well, it's all building up behind Michael Blake, Adam. That's the thing, isn't it? Although Blake is stretching his legs a little bit, the gap between the front 3 has opened slightly, and the door is open for Colin Cunniff, and he goes right through it.
Takes full advantage there. It's all going to be about who has the run on the outside, whether Maciek Sakovic got the run through the final part of the infield, which it looks like he has, and you can see a bit of side drafting going on there. That's trying to slow the car on the high line up a little bit, and it's allowing Kip Stevens to close in on both of them as well here, going down the back straight.
Yeah, Stevens is an experienced competitor, of course, 2 titles to his name.
Oh, Sakovic goes in.
And off goes Sakovic.
Doesn't bother to rejoin the circuit, which is good from him. He's going
to be a big penalty, I think, for the Magic Sandwich.
He's going to rejoin behind one driver that had to serve a slowdowns, Jack Sedgwick, and there is Baker, and there is Rushworth too going through. In fact, he's going to be joined just ahead of Jamie, it looks like. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead back at it again as we reach the half. We've just gone past the halfway point. Chris Wood and Blake separated by just about 100 seconds over the line. And
they're not separated by much now.
Michael Blake doesn't make the first corner, and Chris Wood goes through.
Yeah, he's clear, it's Wood now. Turn 1's definitely the battleground for these two. Oh, and here comes Simpson then. Making his charge, and he's nudging the back of Johnston.
He's been busy in the second race. You can see from the front of that Apex car.
Side by side with Hadfield. He said he might have to get a bit feisty, doesn't he?
Oh. Get pinched here. He's on the inside for the second of the hairpins. He's got similar
he needs to be careful. He doesn't outbrake himself and run into Mark Johnston. You see another Apex car in the background. That's George Simmons getting in and amongst it and just clearing Hadfield. Dear me. Simpson there playing with fire, but manages to survive it. Jack Sedgwick, we saw him with a penalty, I think, earlier on, it looked like. Fighting back nicely. Sedgwick is up just the 2 places as he takes Adam McNally in the Youth Energy.
Yeah, good move there by number 3. George Simmons up the inside going into the final part of the infield section to get into 9th. Alex up to 7th now. In terms of Wojciech and everybody else, Savidovic is sat in 17th position. Nicole Foggy sat in 18th, so these will be very useful points indeed if things stay the way they are, but we've still got a long way to go. Going back onto the banking again, and George Simmons could be about to lose a few positions. Jack Sedgwick and Sutton, both on the inside, both going at much greater speed than the Apex car. Maybe even a slowdown penalty, a small one for George Simmons, because it's allowed those 2 through. Look at the lead battle just in the foreground.
Oh, go on, let's see it. Wood and Blake. Blake's car is all over the place. I wonder if he does have damage from that hit on the wall, because ever since then it doesn't look like it's braking in a straight line efficiently. Oh, these 2 have gone well wide. That might allow Cunniff through into the lead. And it has. The Scotsman is through. And now they're 3 wide nearly on the infield. This is not only going to end. This is not going to go well.
Smoothness is definitely key, but you can't be smooth in battles like this. Up the inside, Michael Blake goes back past Kip Stevens. Kip's going to hold his ground though. It'll quickly become the inside for the second part, and Michael Blake doesn't want to give up, but I think he's going to have to concede. He does.
Oh
now here
man,
comes
that was
Jeppy.
close. He just about got in front, didn't he? Heart rate certainly being elevated at the front.
Oh, RIP to the boosted team. There's not. I don't think there's any of them here today.
Oh dear.
I think they might have been absolved. They might have been absolved by another team.
Liquidated.
Oh, horribly onto the backstretch.
Cremated. I don't know. Who knows?
Carcerated. 7 of 11.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, lap 7 it is. Anyway, Cunniff leads the way, and that erratic duel into turn 1 definitely helped out Colin Cunniff. And you would think he, on a normal circuit, Adam, that he might have the pace on these two, but oh, that's a problem for Johnston. Oh dear.
Well, he's got Sutton right
He was in
behind
the
him.
bus stop rather longer than he planned. I think the bus was delayed on that one.
Oh, we knew that. Through the final part of the corner circuit we go then. Watch out for Jack Sedgwick and the Simulsa Club Hadfield. This is interesting.
Sutton! Oh dear, he's trying to work the nose of the CQR car on the inside. He's right on the yellow line. You're not allowed to overtake below that double yellow line. Oh my word. Oh, and that's caused Johnston to go haywire.
And it's
just the little,
Sedgwick,
the Kia Optima obviously had a very light under braking. The rear goes very light, and the slightest touch can just unsettle you massively. And it looks like Sven, have we lost Sven Glatzel and Martin Front maybe?
Big crash in the first corner. We just saw it from the angle I was looking at.
Oh, problems here. Let's see.
Well, that's the aftermath.
Oh, that's the end of it. That's Craig Williams.
Yeah.
And he's losing it on the gravel.
Oh, he's off into the wall. It's his race run. Here is what happened then.
Let's see. So it's Glatzel and
Woodhouse on the outside.
Woodhouse.
Oh, he gets into the back of Williams. Yeah.
Oh, and then he piles into the pit wall.
Into the back of Williams as well. He's stuck.
Oh, and he's beached.
Yeah.
It's Glatzel. That's like Tony Hawk's pro skater there.
Huh.
Oh, yeah, not the nose grind he would have wanted.
Yeah, no grip up there.
Ah. That's really bad luck because
Jake Blackwell was the CQR Academy car that piled into the back as well.
It was just the slightest tap on Williams. I'm just having a look at it again on the stream, and let's just see again. Yeah, just the tiniest nudge. And to be honest, if that wall wasn't there, Williams would have ended up carrying on as normal. But that wall is so close to the track, Adam, that it just makes it. It's literally 6 inches from the racing surface.
It was probably christened the Julian Janowski wall after what happened in 2015. He's about for the lead then.
Paul Bugger still hasn't recovered. So Blake and Cunniff battling for the lead over the line.
Meanwhile, free wide in the background. Yeah.
50-50 board slide into a nollie, it says on the chat. That's a nice combo there. Now,
Stevens, Sutton. Gonna tell me what to get over that, I think.
I wonder if he can collect skate on his way around as well. As here comes Ash Sutton up the inside on Alex Simpson. Sutton looks like he's going to make his way into the top 5, and he has. Simpson fighting back though. He's got a good exit, but it's about the battle for lead. They're side by side here between Cunniff and Blake, and Cunniff goes through the flat out kink, and it's all kicking off here, Adam, in this race. Oh, Chepelewski appears.
Right up the inside there. He saw the gap and he went for it straight away. This is going to allow the likes of Stevens, Simpson and Sutton to all close in a deadly triple threat of S's there. If they can get to them. And I think with the slipstream on this lap, they potentially could.
Yeah, triple threat at the front as well. And these three just moving away slightly. Kip Stevens is desperately trying to hang on. He's bringing Sutton and Simpson along with him as well. Great race this is for Simpson, Adam, in the points.
Really is, especially where with Savidovic and Foggy being so far down the order. You can see Savidovic, he's just about on the timing screen in 17th. Foggy is a little bit further behind as well. Cunniff set to try and get his 5th win of the season. Michael Blake sat in second, has only won once. Meanwhile, Stelin Chepelewski, who of course is running a limited schedule, racing here today, he has won 1 race as well. So they're all going for at least their 2nd win. We'll see if they can do it when we get to the line. 2 laps to go coming up.
This has been a good lap for Ash Sutton, isn't it? He's right with Kip Stevens. And so he's going to make this into a 5-car battle because Stevens is picking up the draft as well. Now they're 3 wide, nearly over the line. Stelian Chepelevsky's going to try and go all the way around the outside, and very, very wide goes Blake. Is it going to work? Oh, he tried it, didn't he? He just ran out of steam.
Now here's Sutton.
The update on Nico Foggy, just very quickly for those on the chat, is that he is out.
How did we miss that? Nico Foggy.
Absolutely no idea, because did it happen in the crash with... in the crash... Oh, that's what happened. That's a massive one. How did we miss that?
He took out Jake Blackhall there.
Oh!
Up and over. That was a 0.
That was a Haggis car, I think, that got the brunt of that as well.
Shades of Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch, I think, from 2007.
And that is the title over for Foggy. I'm sure of it now. So that's a massive shame for him and for Stuart McFadden as well.
Oh yeah, it was him that went as well, wasn't it? It was the other CQR Academy car of Blackhall that was involved in the Glatzel incident.
2 Scotsmen taking each other out. They're about to see it on the stream, and McFadden getting launched up into the air. Oh, big hit for the whichever driver it was coming through.
Now here's Sutton. Yeah.
And anyway.
Yeah, Sutton back into 3rd place, so he's got 1.5 laps. Try and right the wrongs of the finish of the first race where he managed to miss out on the win on the run to the line. Now got another Apex car, but this time it's not in front of it. It's Stelian Chepelevsky, and then he's got to get past Colin Cunniff. Can Alex Simpson make it up to 4th with the laps?
It's funny because Sutton, he made a really good start. He was up 10 places, and then he only made 3 places in the next 6 or 7 laps, but he's really come on strong at the end here. And he's gone up from about 10th place to up in the top 3 in no time. This is the final lap. Chepelevsky, World Championship driver on the dirt. I think he was sensible there. He didn't want to go side by side with Sutton through those tight bends. Oh, Blake losing his braking point again. Simpson going through into 4th. That's another point for another couple of points for the Apex man. His quest for the title, but Wojciech Svidovic at the moment doing enough. 17th place. I think that's going to be, well, that's if he does that into these last 2 races, Adam, I think he's going to be on par for the title.
It's going to be close. I'm really intrigued to see what the points are going to be looking like. The front of that Kia Optima is very scuffed up on the front of Alex Simpson, but that'll be the least of his worries.
Stevens on the inside of George Simmons. That's a good move there, isn't it? That's very good.
Robust.
Stevens with a very, very clean car, I might add, as well.
Forced Simmons out. He could get passed by the other CQR car there of Baker here. Meanwhile,
on the chat, they were saying, don't be first into the bus stop if you're Colin Cunniff. Well, let's see, Adam. It's going to be tight, this.
Would you want to be first into the bus stop with Sutton behind you, though? I'd personally take that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's really tough. I don't know. I can't really answer it. But it's going to be very, very similar to what happened in race 1 of the evening, isn't it? Round 98 of the British Sim Racing Touring Car Championship. Going to the wire once more, Adam.
Here we go. It's going to be a run to the line. It's the CQR car on the outside. It's got a very decent run. Cunniff is on the bottom with no help. Here comes the Apex car through the middle. He thinks better of it. Ash Sutton's going to win the 2nd race of the day.
Oh, the crash!
And
Big crash across the line.
He crossed the line. It's all good. He finished 3rd in the end. He just pipped Blake to 3rd place. Do that.
That was the checkers or wreckers coming out, wasn't it, from Blake and Simpson. Sutton and Cunniff want to finish. Chepelevsky, I tell you what, brown trouser moment for him as he tried to go up the inside.
Oh, there you go. He let his teammate through, didn't he?
Well, I think that's what he was going to try and win the race, and if he couldn't, he was going to give those extra points, and that's going to could potentially make a big difference.
16 places gained for Alex Simpson. Wojciech Svidovic finished in 16th place. Nico Foggy, we saw, he got the 0 here, and he's going to be starting at the back for the final race, so it just makes an already steep run to try and get back into the championship that little bit worse. So we will have the points for you in a moment, but first we have got the results up on the screen. Woody, take it away. What a result.
Another terrific race, really. Ash Sutton wins it ahead of Colin Cunniff, Alex Simpson in third, Michael Blake fourth, and Stelian Czepelewski. What an effort he made in terms of finishing fifth. Chris Wood sixth, Kip Stevens seventh, then George Simmons in eighth, Jack Sedgwick in ninth, and then David Baker in 10th. Adam Hadfield was P11 with Jamie Rushworth in 12th, Mark Johnson just behind him in 13th, Michael Hall in P14, 15th Maciej Sakovic, 16th Wojciech Savidovic, Adam McNally in 17th, and Ross McFarlane in 18th place. Good recovery from Ross, but I think he's going to struggle there to really make any inroads unless he gets a really good reverse grid. Nathan Davis in 19th, Pete Harrod 20th, Rusty Laidler 21st, ahead of Paul Smith, who we haven't really seen much of tonight. Stephen Baxter in 23rd, Mark Woodhouse 24th, Jack McIntyre 25th, William Daniels in 26th place, 27th for Christian Rose, then Daniel Brown, then Tristan Bodis, Pete Newman in 30th, Lee Deemer in 31st, Ronald Moons in 32nd, Scott Malcolm 33rd, Max Wright then in 34th. The retirements are quite a few in this one. Sven Glatzel, Craig Williams, Martin Front, Jake Blackhall, Stuart McFadden, Nicole Foggy, dear me, that's ruined his championship, and Craig Evans in 41st.
Well, there we go. Championship permutations then. With one race to go then. It's a 44-point gap, I think. Oh, they're still getting updated, I think, so we'll wait and see on that one. We'll wait just a little bit to see if the points get updated, but we'll do the reverse grid. We'll move on to that first before we can have a look at the points. It's all going to be about this one then. Final reverse grid of the season, not just the night, of the season.
Oh.
Race 99 coming up, and Sam Kumo for the 98th and final time. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks Adam. The final reverse grid of the season, and let's play. I'm hoping for a full minus one. I don't know about you guys.
Oh,
I think that would be great.
That would really throw it out there, yeah.
Well, almost. We are getting 40.
Well, that is a full then, basically, isn't it? And that
would be Nicole Foggy, wouldn't it?
It would have been.
Yes.
Sadly, that's not going to happen. So it's going to be Max Wright who goes on to pole, Scott Malcolm, Ronald Moons, Lee Deemer, and Pete Newman. So that's an interesting top five. They're going to battle it out for the win in race 3, Adam. Sorry.
Looks good. Just before we go to a break, I'll see if the points have been updated. We'll wait and see, actually. We'll wait and see on that one. I think from what I can see, I don't know if you're seeing on the sheet, Woody. I think Alex Simpson is 44 points behind Wojciech Savidovic if you add the drop scores into it. So
I tell you, it's still
it's still getting worked out, I think.
Yeah,
but,
I think the points are still coming up, but I'll give that a minute. We'll do the points when we come back, I think.
Yeah.
Before the final race, and see if we can get some confirmation.
Yeah, early indications are, as Jerome Kaiser's just filling in the sheet now, if Alex wins the race, Savidovic has to finish at least 27th, so it still could be a tall order. But yeah, we'll give you a full rundown. Sorry.
I was going to say, don't forget though, it might well be a night race, this one.
Yeah, third and final race of the day of the season usually is under the lights, and that will add another dimension as well. So we will take stock and bring you the points and the final race of the season and all the drama that usually occurs in the interview room afterwards when we come back after the break here on Apex Racing TV for the final race of the season in the British Sim Racing Touring Car Championship.
Hi there, I'm Richard Jobling, Senior Software Engineer here at iRacing. I'd like to show you some of the work that we've been doing to improve the collision and the damage in our sim. One of the major changes we've made is how our collision systems work. The old system stored the track as parametric surfaces, and the cars were made of collections of spheres. As the cars moved around the track, we would recompute planes using the track surfaces, and then test those against the spheres. This worked well for spheres, but was too specialised to adapt to our shapes. So for the new system, we've built new high-resolution meshes for each track. This is more efficient and gives us a lot more flexibility for the car shapes. The new mesh incorporates all the track features our guys work so hard to replicate. Things like curb geometry and changes in the surface material are all baked into the mesh. We've also taken our laser scan data and applied that to the mesh. And since the mesh is so high resolution, we capture all the detail that's necessary so that the tracks are just like the real thing. With our new mesh, we can now represent cars using smooth, convex hulls, which grouped together form the chassis, the bodywork, and all the other parts of the car. The new shapes are a much closer fit to the shape of the real car. During impacts, the shapes can deform according to the damage, and eventually they can break off as separate objects. All the parts, like wings, hoods, and wheels, can also hang from their joints, flapping and vibrating until they eventually snap off. All these changes are going to add a whole new level of realism to our races. If you want to find out more, please visit iRacing.com and check out my blog post for lots more details.
Hi, my name is Greg Hill. I'm the Vice President of Art and Production here at iRacing. This damage project that we've been discussing is certainly a project that involved all hands on deck to pull off. We've got a rather sizable number of cars in our portfolio, and not all of these cars have been built with this dynamic damage system in mind. So what we had to do is one by one go through our race cars, and we had a team of 3 artists, a highly technical modeler, our technical art director, and our associate art director. All took on each car one at a time, and the work involved was researching that car, researching what would happen to that car if it were in a crash, depending on the forces involved in the crash, how severely it would be damaged, what parts might come off, what those pieces might look like when they're removed, what it would look like where the car has areas exposed that were previously covered by bodywork. So they had to do a lot of modeling to each race car, and they had to do a lot of work to essentially set up how the car would react to forces. So essentially setting the strength of the materials. What kind of force would it take to rip off the side pod, for example? Or under what circumstances would this nose cone get ripped off of a car? Or under which would it remain, but just be badly damaged? But all said, it's been a lot of work, but seeing the car models interact with the physics system and the new crash dynamics is really exciting and really cool to see, and definitely makes all that hard work worth it.
Hi, my name is Jose Diaz. I'm a visual effects artist at iRacing. I specialize in particle effects ranging from fireworks to water fountains, debris, crash, impacts, all in the service of improving the driving experience. So you have the main sort of new damage model that Richard's been working on. So that takes into consideration all the mounts and the chassis from the cars and which materials they are. And he's making all the calculations that tell you, like, okay, it got hit from this one side and the strength of that impact is this certain amount of values. If you hit something, that means that this mount gets off, something breaks. This gets added on top of that to sort of complement what is happening there with things that you would see in real life when a car crashes. So typically in a car crash, you will see all these little particles of dust, metal, scratches that will take all that force and momentum and kind of explode in a way. And it's all being driven by how fast the car was coming, how hard the impact was against what. That will give you that sense of like, man, that person really crashed hard, or oh, it was just a small bump.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurch. I'm one of the vehicle dynamicists here at iRacing. Our role in the collision project is to tune the collision properties of each and every car to ensure that they behave in wrecks as a real car would. And we've spent quite a bit of time going through literature from the automotive industry on the subject to make sure that we have panels that deform the way they're supposed to, both temporarily and permanently, that pieces that don't deform but rather just break at appropriate times in appropriate ways. The cars are absorbing energy the way they should and aren't sort of bouncing off the walls in crazy ways. The major properties that we look at are stiffnesses, which is how much a piece of the car deforms when a load is applied to it. And then we look at a couple of limits. One is the force limit beyond which the piece deforms permanently. And then the second limit that we look at is the brake limit, the force limit beyond which the piece will simply break. And then we also will look at damping, which is how much the piece absorbs energy versus how much it takes like a spring and can absorb as potential energy and then rebound back out like a basketball would.
And Michael Tucker will be free to put down his foot whenever he feels like it. And we can now see them roaring through the final corner. And here we go. Race 1 of the evening is underway. Michael Tucker hasn't got an awesome start. And Jamie Ayres, if he wants to win this race, he's got to put some pressure on him going into turn 1. Tucker, though, covers the inside. And Ayres struggles to mount an attack, maybe into turn 2. He can have a chance, but just running a little bit wide as Jamie Ayres. And all of a sudden, he's just dropped back a tenth or so. He's still looking to the inside, but he cannot make the move.
Always a good pace. Is improving quite significantly in the last few rounds. We've seen him in, and it's good to see him on P3. And Robinson is in the gravel there. Not so right. He's keeping it close. Oh, Clark mistaken in the fence. Bad crash there.
Teddy Clark.
Yeah, also Underhill, I think, went into the gravel. Let's see. It might be two separate crashes. We got it on the back end of the camera shot. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, that's what happened there. You know, beginning of the race, I thought that Kalinen had pace to attack. Oh, no. Spin for Jacobson there.
Michael Tucker, though, is coming around the final few corners right now, and he is going to a pace car just coming around the final corner. Robinson can go when he chooses. It's Robinson from the pole position. Malcolm in second. Boy, does this matter in the AM Championship, and the overall championship is not decided at all as well. As Robinson pulls away. Brilliant start as well for Max Wright. He's already on the inside of Scott Malcolm, so that should be a simple move up in second place, but Malcolm thinks otherwise. He's going to hang it around the outside into turn 1 and going into Druids. The second and third place drivers are side by side. Max Wright trying to go down the inside, but Malcolm has done brilliantly to fend off him, although he is still a little bit wide. Josh Thompson has had a bit of a spin in the background, but still Malcolm is having to defend. It's Jamie Ayres running in 4th position, gaining a position on Rafe Cannon, with Michael Abdoka so far unable to make a move. But here comes Jamie Ayres, and he's going to have a move on Max Wright. So Max Wright, Marco, challenging for 2nd position, and look at this, he may drop down even into 6th position now.
Yeah, and we have a huge mid-pack with 4 cars, Ayres, Wright, Kalinen, Evdoka, all coming for the same piece of real estate, and Kalinen saves the car. Kalinen is trying to close the gap. Let's see the replay of the move here. Very brave.
Nice move.
Wow, that was very brave from Jamie Ayres.
quite sure what his pace is like, but his racecraft is so strong, he may stand a chance. Michael Abdoka is down the inside of Max Wright, and if he can just push out right here, he can't really do so because he took he wasn't comfortable with that line, but he has now pulled ahead, and I doubt Wright is going to be able to fight back into this next corner. Not much of a big concern, and Abdoka moves up into the top 4.
Scott Malcolm will defend hard but fair as usual now on the inside of Abdoka. Good run in the first corner, side by side. Man, they are extremely close. There's nothing in it. Abdoka will have the inside on Druids. Let's see. Can he complete the pass? He can. Nice move by Michael Abdoka there.
Abdoka can go chase down the top 2. You can see Josh Thompson just behind these two drivers, and actually Jamie S has taken the lead of Colin Robinson. So I saw the gap was close. Here comes Max Wright though, round the outside of Scott Malcolm. This would be an awesome move, but he is off the circuit, and he's going to lose a position to Josh Thompson. It could have been a whole lot worse than that. So he lost the position to Ray Cullinan there.
Here comes the replay, going into Druids. Mistake from Robinson, I think. We went a bit wide. Ayers didn't need a second invitation and made the move quite easily.
And Malcolm, he's really been faultless so far today, and as we see Abdoka already make the move on Colin Robinson. It is ever so close between Colin and Malcolm, and this final corner is where Malcolm particularly struggles, at least what I've seen, and he's trying to go for the move is Rafe Kana. They're both wide, and the driver who's going to profit from this is of course Josh Thompson. He's already made one move on Rafe Kana. Max Wright trying to get involved, and he's going to go to the inside. It's 3 wide going into turn 1 here at Brands Hatch. This is fantastic racing, and Josh Thompson has made that move. Max Wright was smart just to back out, and he is going to try to come back though. It's Rafe Kana trying to get the cut back, but Max Wright profiting from this, and there's contact amongst all 3 of them. Wright still going for the move, but eventually Thompson makes the mistake, and Cullinan only loses the 1 position.
And now we see the replay of what happened here. Scott Malcolm. So Cullinan went through at Druids, then right. Ooh, he lost the car, didn't hit the barriers, so he is okay, but of course, position lost there to Max Wright for Scott Malcolm.
He's going to probably have to look for an alternative overtaking spot. Michael Abdoka, maybe a bit of a surprise take into this one, but again, Ayers is very deep on the brakes. It does take us a slightly wide line. That might be a chance for Abdoka, but down here, as long as you just cover the inside line, there's not a whole lot the other driver can do. But Abdoka is going to go for the inside line here, and Ayers has not covered it off, and this could cost him the race lead here. Jamie Ayers round the outside of Michael Abdoka. Abdoka has got the inside for the next one, and he failed to cover off the opportunity for Abdoka, and Abdoka is round, and he's going to be in the wall, and the championship leader is in all kinds of trouble now.
Ayers is waiting for him, but the damage is done, I think, because Abdoka's car is completely smashed on the front right. Let's see the replay. There's a hard hit for Abdoka. I think he will have to stop for repairs.
So just a really poor lap, seemingly, this from Rafe Collins, and it has allowed Max Wright to close right up onto the back of him, and down the inside will go the Mercedes. We've seen the outside line from Scott Malcolm working several times today, and it's worked brilliantly for Rafe Cullinan this time, but he has not got this move covered. Still down the inside is Max Wright, but hanging around the outside is the BMW driver, and he's going to have the inside for Graham Hill Bend. Still side by side those between these 2 drivers, and actually a much better exit for Max Wright. And this time there's no response from Rafe Cullinan. Max Wright moves up into 4th position. Now only 1 more corner for Michael Abdoka to tackle. He's already got 1 triple this season at Phillip Island, and it looks as though he's building up to 1 today as well. He's a little bit wide though, and Jamie Ayers might stand a chance here as they race to the line. The team Mercedes, who is going to win this one? It's Jamie Ayers.
Jamie Ayers is the winner.
I cannot believe it. Just as I was speaking up to Michael Abdoka, perhaps lining up another triple today, it is Jamie Ayers who has stolen the race victory by just half a tenth of a second. He will start on pole position for race 3. Jamie Ayers leading the cars around, again dropping back as we've seen a lot of today. And he will now put his foot down. And Michael Abdoka in second position, consolidates that second position, and can he mount an attack on Jamie Ez going into turn 1? It doesn't seem like he is going to be able to, although he is into the slipstream. Ez has got to be watching his mirrors down into turn 1 and down into Druids as well. As a little bit deeper on the brakes of Abdoka. Nice run through turn 1, and he might stand a chance for 2. Ez has got to go defensive here, but he's very late to defend, and Abdoka nearly had a chance down the inside.
Abdoka was on the timing screen. Oh, look at that! Oh!
He seemed to have decent pace, and I think he would have kind of got quicker and quicker as the race went on. Michael Abdoka is down the inside in turn 2 against Jamie Ez, but Ez has got the ideal line down into Graham Hill Bend, and he's held on to that P1 position but he has not fended off the inside line. Once again, he's trying to almost squeeze Abdoka on the inside, but Abdoka will go around the outside, and he might even try to push out his opponent. They are side by side now, heading into the next quick right-hander, and they are side by side down the bridge as well. It's fantastic battling between these two, and Abdoka is round the outside, and he's surely going to make this move stick. Yes, he is. Jamie Ez with no answer to that overtake.
Night has descended, the lights are on, it's time for the final race of the season. Race 99 of the BSRTC. Joining me in the commentary box then to, as we crown a champion, as we get ready to crown a champion, it's Andrew Woodhouse, and we've been looking at the points, and as long as Savidovic finishes, in theory he has it all under control, but if he gets a 0 or picks per wreck, then all of a sudden all bets are off in terms of who wins the title.
Well, yeah, of course. So basically, if Alex Simpson finishes the race and Wojciech Savidovic doesn't, then Alex Simpson will be the champion. If Simpson wins, Savidovic needs 26th. If Simpson is second, Savidovic needs 31st. And if Simpson needs to finish in the top 7 in order to have any chance whatsoever if Savidovic finishes the race. In the AM category, however, it's a hell of a lot more complicated, because we have Chris Wood, Maciej Sakovic, Michael Blake, and Adam Hadfield all in contention. We don't even have time for all the permutations because there are literally hundreds, Adam.
Yeah, and if Savidovic retires, if he picks up 0, then anybody up to Pete Harrod in 5th can win the title. But Harrod will have to win for him to take the championship. So that is the state of play. The starting grid is on the left-hand side of your screen, and as we go around to get ready for the start. Max Wright was meant to be on the pole, but he's starting from the pit lane, it looks like. So it's going to be Scott Malcolm that brings them round to the green. Of course, Max Wright starting at the back because he caused the wreck at the start of race 3 last week at Monza. Ronald Moons is going to be starting in 2nd then. Then it's Lee Deemer, Pete Newman, Tristan Bodis, Dan Brown, Christian Rose, Will Daniels, and Jack McIntyre. Wojciech Savidovic is going to be starting in 19th. Alex Simpson is going to be starting in 32nd. So, as you can see, the ball is in Wojciech Savidovic's court, very much so. But anything could happen.
It's round 99. Hope nobody flakes. Here we go.
Had to be said. Here we go. The green flag's in the air for the final race of the season. Ronald Moons doesn't get the best jump. I think he was anticipating on Scott Malcolm going, but here we go. Look at this. Then it's Pete Newman. He's going to try and get up the inside into the first corner. Watch the pit wall on the inside. Don't do a Janowski on it, guys, please. As everybody slows up.
It's always so tight with that pit wall anyway, isn't it? We see it. Oh, the crash! Off goes Baxter, I think, into the wall.
Yeah.
That's his season over.
Tell you what, these cars look great under the lights. There's Wojciech Savidovic, he's made it through, he's gained a few places as well.
Dear me, sorry, there's a lot of positions changing, so we've got to watch out. We'll see any slowdown penalties. Got to look at Wojciech Savidovic and Alex Simpson. Simpson, he really needs to get a move on. He needs to channel Ash Sutton crashing. Big crash in front. Big crash in front, and off goes Adam Hadfield. And that's really important for the AM category.
Really is. He was the outside contender for the AM category going into it. It was mainly Sakovic and Chris Wood.
Also off his Harrod.
Oh.
Pete Haradoff as well, another outsider. Jack Sedgwick, it says, has crashed as well. Sorry, Adam, to interrupt, but that's 2 of the few championship contenders out already.
Yeah, those were the rank outsiders, weren't they? Pete Harrod was could have been a champion if he won the race and Savidovic picked up a 0. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. And Hadfields would have picked up the title if Chris Wood didn't finish 6th. So here we go. Here comes the battle for 2nd place. Pete Newman leads. It's now on between Dan Brown and Scott Malcolm.
I think we need to look at Wojciech Savidovic because he's right next to Ash Sutton. Side by side, I think they might be, or very close to it. There we are. And now Ash Sutton has caused problems in the season finale previously. So Wojciech Savidovic might just be wise to just let him go here. And he has. And I think that's very wise indeed. It's all bottlenecking in front of them, though. This is the on-board from Wojciech Savidovic, and you can see, Adam, just how little space there is. These Kia Optimas are quite large. You can't really get a good viewpoint. He nearly runs into Sutton. Sutton nearly runs into the Simauto car. And then on top of all that, on our right, we have Michael Hall.
Yeah, Michael Hall's come out of nowhere, really. Behind Wojciech, you can see the Polish flag. That's the Pro-Am Championship leader, provisionally, Maciek Sakovic. But of course, it's all about where Chris Wood finishes, which will decide the title there.
Oh, off! William Daniels.
Yeah, he's down the order. He's down to 24th, 25th, dropping down a few more positions here.
Simpson's just taken Stevens. He's up into 22nd place then. So only now 6 behind Wojciech Savidovic. Maciek Sakovic looks like he's losing places as well. That's not good for his championship. He's lost out there to David Baker this time.
Chris Wood is in 25th place as Sakovic climbs up to 21st. There he is. He's just a place behind. He's just a place ahead of Alex Simpson, who's got a Simauto card to deal with, and Michael Blake and Kip Stevens as well.
A couple of people blinking as well, which doesn't help anybody in this. Oh, and off is Chris Wood. Chris Wood, and that'll be a penalty. Oh man, that's a nightmare for Wood. He was already quite a way down the order because of his high finish in the previous round. And there's Lee Deemer as well, and that's and has he got suspension damage on him? It looks like he can't really. I don't know if he can track effectively. Oh, it looks like he is now. So that's more places for Simpson.
Yeah, that's 21st.
Savidovic up to 15th. Michael Hall is trading places with George Simmons. You can see that battle.
In terms of the effects of the slowdown penalty for Chris Wood, it doesn't really do much. Sakovic has got to get up to 9th if he wants to take the title from Chris Wood.
Oh! Simmons on the inside. We just got to say as well, Team Mad, I don't know if you said at the beginning, Adam, I'm not sure, but Team Mad have secured the AM category, barring any protests.
Hopefully it won't have to come to that as...
and that's Simmons, I think, just appearing out of nowhere. Savidovic very nearly got hit by Stelian Chepelevsky, who's actually his own teammate for this race meeting.
Yeah, the 1-2-3 car. Try and find him in that camera angle. There he is.
And Woodhouse having a look on the Simauto car of Johnston. So I think it's a tough position for Chepelevsky to be in as well, because if Simpson gets up to him, then he's probably going to have to just let him through and see what happens. But Woodhouse and Savidovic battling, then Savidovic just needs to make efficient places, doesn't he? He needs to finish, well, he needs to finish 26th or higher to guarantee the title. He's doing so at this very moment.
Really,
but as we've seen, we saw with Nico Foggy, Adam, in race 2, anything can happen in this BSRTC.
Yeah, Nico Foggy had been so good throughout most of the showdown. In fact, before that, most of the regular season, in fact. And just that one wreck in NASCAR Turn 4 is what did it for him.
Yeah, he's had a terrific season, Foggy.
That's going to be
once
another
again,
place.
great in World GTs. McNally going slowly. Got to be a slowdown from the bus stop, surely. He's not served yet. Oh, still going slowly, McNally. And he's let everyone through to George Simmons. Oh, what's that? I can hear something's going off.
It's Davis.
It's Nathan Davis, and he's sideways. And he's, oh my word. Oh, contact with McNally. McNally nearly into, that was nearly into Alex Simpson there, Adam.
And now he's got Sakovic trying to go around the outside of him. Nathan Davis. Oh, and very nearly goes into the side of his former Apex colleague there.
Sven Glatzel and Nico Foggy had some problems. As Foggy dropped down again.
There we go. Here's a replay.
It's with Glatzel if it is potentially here. Or Foggy tries to throw one up the inside of Glatzel, and then he gets lunged at by the Simauto car. What a move by car 60. I don't even know who car 60 is. That's Lee Deemer. Tremendous move, but actually seemed to put Foggy into the side of Sven Glatzel.
Changes going on.
Oh, and facing the wrong way around is Nathan Davis.
God, heart in the mouth stuff when you see it's an Apex car, and then you see the number. But Nathan
Apex
Davis,
car, yeah, exactly.
A lap from hell for Davis. Well, it's a former Apex driver, isn't it? I just haven't updated the paint. But lap 4 of 11, and we've had a races worth of drama already as Newman and Brown take very different lines going through the bus stop there.
It just flashed up red for Jack McIntyre as well, so I hope he didn't get another slowdown. I think he got one in the previous race. He's just ahead of Ash Sutton now, so Sutton's made his way through amazingly well here, hasn't he?
Yeah, 30 places gains. That's kind of
what I noticed. He's putting right down below the apron. That was a bit severe from Sutton, but it might just get this one done. He has got it done on McIntyre. McIntyre going to fight back. I'm not sure he necessarily... Well, he's going to try around the outside. Very late on the brakes. Pulls this off. It'll be spectacular, Adam. Yeah, he's gone a bit too... You've got to get up pretty early in the morning to outbrake Ash Sutton.
Yeah. Let's see. Lap 5 of the...
There we go.
Oh, the inside goes Ronald Moons then.
It's so exciting, he's spontaneously combusting here in the commentary box here.
Biggest movers. Yeah,
Sorry,
Championship position. Here's a replay. This is Nicole Foggy. Is something going to happen here? He's trying to get past the number 11.
It's not the rejoining car, is it? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, Blackhall. Oh, dear. And over. And Foggy on his roof. Oh, dear me. And yet again with the CQR Academy car.
Didn't want to say hindsight's a beautiful thing, but going into this race meeting, Nicole Foggy was my tip for the title. But bad as my it's as bad as my football bets. I think lap 5 of 11.
Good for him at all today, but
update. Savidovic is up to 10 now. Alex Simpson is in 17. 15 places would still be a very good position gained in any other race meeting, but it's not quite enough here as Dan Brown makes the right mess of the bus stop. Another place.
Looking for the top 10.
Yeah, he's up to 9th.
Oh no, 9th. Top 9. 9th position now.
Now he's up to Johnston.
Is he just going to drive all the way around the outside? It'll be pretty impressive if he can manage that. He's kept his nose very, very clean, Wojciech Savidovic, so far. Commentators' curses are still in play on round 99, so, oh dear, he's cutting it fine. Doesn't need to cut it that fine, you wouldn't think. But now, this is going to be a ballsy move if he goes for this with the title on the line. I tell you, around the outside of turn 1, against someone like Mark Johnston, who is very good on the brakes. Oh, Moons! Big one! And Simpson just misses it.
Wow.
Good Lord. Well, for someone called Moons, he's not had the best time under the lights, has he?
There we go.
And
he's
Oh, there it is. That was the quarter panel, I think, courtesy of... Could have been Paul Smith, actually.
Total eclipse of the engine, I think.
That was another press triangle moment, wasn't it? It tried to grind the wall. Now Simpson is having a look at the Youth Energy car here. I'll tell you what, Alex Simpson has put up a terrific fight in this race, starting from where he was in 32nd place. But you feel at the moment it's not going to be enough, Adam. But as we've said, 2015, 2 corners to go is when we saw the title decided.
It's a lot closer back then, though. I think there was 4 points going into the title, but yeah, there's still half the race to get, just under half the race to go. In fact, sits up to 15th. He's got McNally in front. Quick update on the Pro Championship, not much has changed really, because Maciej Sakovic is not in the top 10. If he's not in the top 10, Chris Wood is the champion for the Pro category. So until he gets there, we won't really talk too much about that title fight.
Well, even though it's not been the best season, by the way, for Apex Racing, there'll be 1 and 2 in the Drivers' Championship, it looks like, which is quite amazing, really, considering that they were nowhere near really the team's championship. But yeah, the AM category, I'll tell you, nobody's really having a good race here in the AM category, are they?
Not really. It was all about race 2 where they got the points. There's another place for Wojciech. He's up to 7th. Rusty Laidler getting out the way.
Michael Blake's in a decent position, 18th. But you can see him on this shot.
Oh,
here. Oh, well, that's the blown engine, I think, is it?
And
No, it sounded like a Youth Energy car.
yeah, Adam McNally. It's going to be Haggis. Yeah, that is the end of his one then.
Yeah, Scooter Haggis, sorry. Yes, not Youth Energy, didn't it?
Yeah, it's not exactly say what you see with these paints, is it?
No, it's not. It really isn't.
It's up in 10th place, 20 positions gained. He's obviously dusted off the cobwebs since he's come back to the BSRTC for this race meeting, and he's lost none of that magic so far. He took his only win in 2015 at this very circuit, in fact.
Kept it very clean, though, and Stellian so far. And yet again, that's probably another curse coming, isn't it? But doing a good job. Wojciech Svidovic, as it stands, in line for his 4th championship.
He won in 2014, 2016, 2017. Yeah. Here is Ash Sutton then.
He was the first champion on Apex Racing TV, of course.
Yeah, driving for Apex Racing TV. He's come full circle, in fact. I think his titles have all come with Apex as well. He's been around to a few other teams since in that time.
Yeah, he was at Sim Racer magazine. Remember that?
Yeah, 2015 he was at wasn't EOD, was he? I think he was at
Can't
somebody
remember.
else. It was a white and red car. I can't remember what team it was.
It was a white and red. It was a white and red car. Yeah, GT Omega. No, Engine All Direct.
They still. Oh, they probably were.
Yeah, EOD. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
So it's Sutton then versus McIntyre versus Fisher. McIntyre's determined to get that move done around the outside. Sutton this time doesn't risk it. He just says no.
And leaves those two to fight on the scraps behind as Sutton's into the podium positions. Oh, that was a bit of a lunge, or was that just a bit of defending for Christian Rose? It looked like it. Anyway, Wojciech Svidovic.
Just defending late on the brakes, really.
Yeah, he's up to 7th. Next up is Ross McFarlane for 6th. Ross was one of the drivers that could have won the title as well if Wojciech picked up a 0 with 4 laps to go. It looks like that is not going to be the case as he's now evaded the danger of the midfield. He's up right near the front again.
Yeah, you would think that Svidovic has got this in the bag now, but he just needs to be careful, doesn't he? And that's the thing. It's all right saying that he's got through the hard part, but we've seen that in the past. I mean, look what happened to Max Verstappen at Brazil. You know, something happened when you just don't expect it. So, and that was his own fault, mind you, but still, it was something that happened when nobody expected it to happen, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen for Wojciech Svidovic because he's driven really beautifully, especially the second half of the season. Adam, he's really staked his claim.
He has. The wins speak for themselves. 12 wins over the course of the season. The only driver that's won more than him was Ash Sutton with 17. That was to be expected. Here's the battle for the lead, by the way. It's in the final race of the season. It's always a sideshow to what's going on in terms of the title fight, but this is a great opportunity for Pete Newman and Dan Brown to pick up a victory. Pete Newman, who hasn't had the best seasons compared to how he's done recently. Look at this, Sutton.
McIntyre again trying. This time Rose is gonna shove him out this time? No, he's not. But Jack McIntyre, he just gets forced wide by Christian Rose. Rose goes through and into 4th place. Wojciech Svidovic, he won at Barber Motorsports Park and at VAR and at Road Atlanta, twice at Sebring and at Snetterton and at the Nürburgring, Sonoma, Mount Panorama, Watkins, Interlagos, and of course race 1 here at Daytona.
Alex Simpson and Dave Baker barring here. In comparison to our 2 leaders, Pete Newman's only won once, Dan Brown hasn't won at all.
Look at Baker. Look at this. Baker
Laidler
absolutely flew past Rusty Laidler like he wasn't even there.
So too Alex, yeah. So Alex Simpson up to 11th, Laidler losing 2 places.
I wonder if Laidler's got a slow down because he just looked like he was off the pace there for a second. think he's all right now.
So, yeah.
Rumours going about as well, Adam, that might be Paul Smith's last season in the BSRTC, at least as a full-time driver, but obviously remains to be seen. We hope we don't lose Paul for next season, but if we do, it's been a terrific career so far in the championship.
Well, Mr.
No doubt we'll see
Streams,
some new faces who are going to entertain us throughout 2019.
Could be the final races for many a few drivers. In fact, we'll hopefully get to speak to a few of them afterwards. I know Alex Simpson, it looks like he'll be heading off to single-seaters, of course, with the arrival of the Formula Renault 3.5 for next season.
Yeah, it might be one and done for him.
Like
not certain, of course, about... Yeah, I mean, if he wins the title, he might have a rethink. You never know. But McIntyre again tries it, but Sutton again rebuffs it. And it's almost like he knows where he's going to be now, and Rose always takes advantage. But McIntyre always seems to get back in front of Rose by the start-finish line, having a go at Sutton. So, but then behind that is Ross McFarlane and Savinovic. So this is where it all gets interesting, Adam, because if they're battling away, Wojciech Savinovic, in my opinion, needs to stay as far away from this as possible. Because he only needs to finish in, what does he need to finish, 26th or something?
And he can, because the gap to Mark Johnston behind is 3 seconds, so...
I think he just needs to maybe just
Yeah.
go a second back from this. Enough where he maybe picks up some of the draft, but not to where he's in the problem, because Alex Simpson, I mean, to be fair, Alex Simpson is in position if Wojciech Savinovic doesn't finish this race. But having said that, Adam, we're on the penultimate lap, so
You'd have to crash now, or yeah.
I mean, certainly it would. Would he still get 0 if he crashed? I don't know. It doesn't matter now because he's on the final lap. It won't matter.
Yeah.
If he does get to the last lap, that is.
Yeah, if he gets to the last lap, he'll be classified 1 lap down if he has a wreck on that lap, which would mean he would still score full points. So,
and of course, disappointingly, we have to say that all results are unofficial, and protests can and probably will be applied to the finishing order. So we have to. Well, anything we say after this point, you have to take with a condition or two. Here we go. Then it's going to be a 5-car scrap into turn 1 here, mate.
Yeah, last lap of the season.
Oh dear.
Sure, there's a stat somewhere of how many laps we've done over the course of the year, but look at this. BSRTC delivering once again, as it does every year. There's Apex cars fighting in the background too.
Side by side here. Oh, look at that.
McFarlane.
Great braking from McFarlane. Fantastic. Going through on Savinovic. The final lap. I think he knows he's done it now. Wojciech Savinovic. Say, barring any protests, I haven't seen him hit anybody or anything like that, so it looks like it's going to be his. What a rookie year for Alex Simpson, though. Adam as well. Can't forget that. There he is in 8th position. He's battled through from 32nd place. He's given it absolutely everything. He's only 1 place short of the target for him, which would have been 7th, but
he's also he's the second biggest mover in the field as well, behind Ash Sutton.
Here we go then. Newman versus Brown.
Brown wants that win. He's never won in the BSRTC. The evening didn't start off too well for Brown, but he's to pull himself back into a chance for the win. Meanwhile, Pete Newman's going for his 2nd win of the year. It's all going to be about this run going to the flag.
Yeah, Newman has won races before. Of course, he's been in the Showdown twice. Can he show that mettle as round 99 comes to a close, Adam? He's got the high line on the banking. Going to try and use it to sweep down and get the momentum. Can he do it?
600ths, down to 500ths. Dan Brown's not going to do it unless he pulls off something remarkable. Pete Newman wins the final race of the season. Dan Brown 2nd. Ross McFarlane might beat Sutton to 3rd at the line. But the BSRTC champion for 2018 is Wojciech Savinovic. He crosses the line. In fact, he even allows Alex Simpson through on the run to the line. I wonder if he timed the fuel to precision there or something. But either way, Wojciech Savinovic has done it. He's a 4-time champion to add to his titles in 2017, 2016, and 2014 as well, and a remarkable achievement it is too.
Fireworks going off, and yeah, a really tremendous way to finish the season. Another one down here on Apex Racing TV, Adam, and yet again we get to this point and wonder where it's all gone since March. But yeah, fabulous racing all through the field, and once again it's been a joy to watch.
Another year gone, another year older, and another fantastic year BSRTC racing. Kept us on our toes right to the end. A joy to watch.
And a joy for watch.
Joy for watch. I'll be on the back pages tomorrow.
Of what? I don't know.
I don't, yeah. Don't know. But what a result for them. And what a result for Apex as well. They didn't start the season off too well. But Wojciech Savidovic in particular had a number of internet issues at the start, which really put them on the back foot and realistically put them on the back foot all the way in terms of the team's title. But they fought their way back up. Savidovic knew all about those podium credits, picks up those wins over the course of the season, get him right to the top of the championship pecking order when the Showdown began. And he's an expert in the Showdown and has managed to get right to the top to perfection. And as others fell by the wayside, like Nicole Foggy in the final race meeting of the season, Nash Sutton and Dave Baker at Monza a week ago, he was right in where he needed to be going into Daytona, and there he is. He's walking away with a 4th BSRTC title.
Hell of a performance once more. It's the 4 times himself. Pete Newman then takes the win. That's overshadowed somewhat by the rest of the proceedings, but that's his 2nd win of the season. Dan Brown in P2. Great drive by the AM contender. He was a contender, wasn't he, coming into tonight, but didn't go well for him, unfortunately, in the first race. Ross McFarlane in 3rd, Ash Sutton in 4th, Jack McIntyre 5th, and Christian Rose 6th. What a close finish that was between them. Alex Simpson in 7th place. Wasn't the title for him. I think if you'd have told him that he would come 2nd at the end of the season, he would be very, very happy indeed. Wojciech Savidovic, champion again. The man to beat, always. Probably the man to beat next year as well. Sterling Chepelevsky in P9. Great comeback drive from him. Dave Baker 10th. It wasn't to be for him. He usually takes it to the final round. Couldn't quite do it this time. He will be back, I'm sure. Mark Johnson in 11th place. Sven Glatzel 12th as we get the reverse donuts on the screen, which is the only way you can really do them in the Kia Optima. Sven Glatzel 12th. He was competing all the way through the season in the top 10. George Simmons 13th, only half a season due to his work commitments. And then Rusty Laidler 14th. He contested it all the way to the finish in the AM category, apart from 1 week, unfortunately, last week. Michael Hall 15th, Paul Smith 16th, then Kip Stevens in 17th, Michael Blake in 18th. 19th was Tristan Bodis, who had a team change mid-season. 20th for Colin Cunniff. 21st was Martin Front. And then Jamie Rushworth in 22nd. It was great to see Jamie Rushworth back on a full-time basis in 2018. I look forward to seeing him hopefully back for another go at the championship in 2019. Magic Sakovic 23rd, who fought for the AM category all the way to the end. Have we got the final points for that as well? It looks like we do. Chris Wood, it looks like, has taken it by 12 points. Lee Deemer 24th, and then it was Chris Wood in 25th, even after he missed the bus stop chicane. Still gained 4 places. Mark Woodhouse in 26th. Stuart McFadden 27th. Adam Hadfield 28th. That last race did not go well for him at all. He looks like he's finished 3rd overall. And then Will Daniels in 29th. Max Wright 30th. 31st, Alan McNally. He retired from the race as we heard the engine pop. Ronald Moons 32nd. Jake Blackhall 33rd. 34th for Nicole Foggy. It was not his night. Ended up on his roof this time. Nathan Davis 35th. I saw him have a terrible lap, and then I think he might have had too much damage. Craig Williams 36th. Scott Malcolm 37th. Stephen Baxter in P38. 39th for Pete Harrod. And Jack Sedgwick in 40th. Harrod and Sedgwick. Adam, it rather fell apart for them really in the last week or two.
Amazing how it fell apart, didn't it? For Pete Harrod and for Steve Baxter as well. The crash at the start really eliminated Baxter from everything there. And Pete Harrod still had an outside chance of taking the title, which is remarkable. He was a Club Series champion a few seasons ago and only joined the championship a year or two ago as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what he can do next season and who he will be up against as well. It's the final result.
Baxter almost peaked too early, didn't he, really?
He did. He was leading in like Le Mans in June. Right then, we do have a massive amount of drivers queuing for interviews. In fact, we're pretty much...
I think let's have a look and see how many we can do, because I think...
Get the winner in, the title. We'll get the Pro-Am winner.
We'll get the champions in. And we'll get the runners-up in if we've got them. And we'll maybe get the winning team in, and maybe that's all we can do. I don't know. We'll have to see what we get. Do we have... Tell you what, we'll grab... Wojciech Swinovich. Let's grab him then. I'm just going to see... Discord, I tell you, sometimes. We'll get him. Hold on. There we go.
There you go. Right, commentary room.
Yes.
Well, Wojciech, welcome to the commentary box. Yeah, well done on another title. You seem to be doing it every year.
Yeah, like I'm really happy, really amazed again that I managed to do it again. It was definitely much harder. It felt way less controlled, or I could say there was no control whatsoever. It was mixing up, and basically I got more lucky at the end. That's mainly what.
You've been in the BSRTC for many years, though. Surely, you know how the Showdown for the format works and what you need to do in each race meeting to make sure that you got to Daytona in a position to be fighting for the title.
Oh yeah, definitely. The problem is when you're behind on points, that's when you try to catch up and you need to take the risk. I think that's what Nicole had to do today, and he paid a big price for that. And that's the thing. If the risk pays off, you're back there in the game. If not, you're just dropping. And many drivers dropped from the top, like Ash. He obviously had a big disadvantage coming to the Showdown without no extra points and drop week that he couldn't use. But yeah, that's the way it is.
I think he had to try though, didn't he? Foggy, really, the points gap was fairly big. I think he had to go for it, and but that just shows that you've been there and seen it all and done it, and this is the fourth one for you now. Fantastic.
Yeah. And also, we were only third in the teams. We were out of the game to try to win it. So that's also, we could only concentrate on the Drivers' Championship in this last week. When NLR and CQR guys, they had to, they had a harder battle, definitely, against the CQR.
Daytona, obviously, so unpredictable, but I'm sure you'd agree as well that last week at Monza was probably the more crucial race meeting to get points on the board, especially with it being so chaotic around there.
Yeah, definitely. That was the luck that Nico catch the DNF there. So that allowed me to, go back on the front, which was the crucial moment, I would.
How was it racing against Alex Simpson as well? Obviously new to the BSRTC this season. He ended up pushing you all the way towards the final race of the season. He was a team principal for you the last few years as well, but what was it like to race him out on the track?
Very good, yeah. Alex definitely made a big progress with the car. He wasn't really concentrating that much at the beginning, but yeah, when it started to count, he really was pushing very hard. Again, we really didn't have to race each other too much. There wasn't really, that when you had to race for real, which is nice. Lucky enough with that. But again, when you're around, you kind of sometimes have to compromise. Maybe don't go for the move if you would like to. Yeah, definitely Alex second in the championship, I think, in the drivers. So we have definitely well deserved.
Four titles, 5 years. Are you going to stick it out to try and make it 5 BSRTC titles next season?
I probably will, yeah. I'm really enjoying every Thursday, so why not? Most likely will.
Great. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, thank you very much to all of you at Apex TV for doing the great show every week for us. Also, all the drivers, especially in my team, thank you for all the help I received and all the good races from the opposing teams, all the team sponsors, Simputers, SDK Gaming, and yeah, hope to see you next year.
Well done again, Wodge. We've just got Alex in here. I don't know if there's anything you want to say to him about the battle or anything like that throughout the season.
I think I said everything. I don't know if he heard or not, yeah, but definitely Alex, yeah. You kept me honest, and yeah, very well done, well deserved second place.
Thank
Could be definitely easily other way around. You never.
Yep, cheers, mate. Same to you. Congratulations. Yeah, phenomenal all season. Yeah, considering the problems you had at the start of the season as well, with your PCing the connection, to come back so strong in the main championship as well and finish where you did, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I had a bit bad run at the beginning. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, but yeah, sorted out. Luck.
Well, that's what champions do. They bounce back, and hopefully we'll see you back again in 2019. Wodge, well done again.
Thank you.
Wojciech Savidovic there, our champion for another year. Won it in 2014, won it in 2016, 17, and now again in 2018. But one person who probably surpassed both of our expectations, how he did in his car in his rookie season in the BSRTC, is Alex Simpson. Pushed him all the way, Wojciech Savidovic, to the end. And Alex, even though you weren't able to get the title, you were still the second biggest mover in that final race. You were definitely going to get maximum points there.
Exactly. I just saw where Ross was and just knew that I had to get some bonus points in there. I had to move up as much as I possibly could, and yeah, I just absolutely went for it. Nothing held back. Had a good little battle with Baker for 3 or 4 laps. I was desperate to get by. I was like, come on, move! But yeah, in the end, yeah, we got it done. I think I don't know, what did I do? 2 or 3 around the outside of turn 1, and I said to Cheppy, I said, I'm going around the outside of you here, and he was already going around the outside of someone, and I just went nuts on the brakes and just down through the gearbox and yeah, exactly, and just hope that the engine didn't go bang, really. So, and yeah, it did moan at me a little bit, but it stayed together, and yeah, got it done and got the points. And we had some great racing tonight. Race 2 was really, really good. That third race, excellent as well. First race was good as well. I thought the slowdown was going to be the way things were going to go for the whole night, and in the end, it didn't. It turned around, and yeah, it was all good. So. Yeah, beyond my wildest expectations to finish second, I think, in this championship, considering my disdain for the car at the start of the season.
Well, 6 wins in total, 11 times on the podium. I think that's classed as a job well done, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, even though I just give the car a bit of a hard time there, my opinion is quite different now, you know? Having called this series for a long time, I definitely have a very different mindset on it now. And I think Jamie said it best, Fluke, in one of his streams, that it's just, where can you get racing like that? It doesn't matter what series I go and do now. Obviously I'm still in the sort of the GT World Championship. I am going to have a run back at the Pro, because how can I turn down the chance to do Formula 3.5 in the World Championship, which is what we're thinking is going to happen. Got to have a go at that. But they're not going to be a patch on the racing that I've experienced this year at all. And that goes to all of the drivers that I've raced this year. It's just been absolutely epic. I'm really glad I've done a whole season, made some good friends and had some epic battles out there.
So, obviously the question is, will you be back at some point in doing the odd rounds here and there, maybe a bit like what myself and Adam have done over the
the guys asked you pretty quickly, and we were already talking who was going to do it. I think the answer right now is, will I be back to do an odd race? Yes. Will I be a reserve and do a few more than an odd one? If the car doesn't change, then no. Because I want to prioritize the other 2 series, to be honest. And frankly, I'm just not good enough to drive 3 cars at the top level. I need the bit. I need the practice. You know, the practice makes perfect for me, and there's just not enough hours in the day to get that. You know, to get to the level you need for 3 cars. But yeah, but if they change the car, I might well be back.
As in, and by change the car, you mean new touring car?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think
Just
if that happens, I can see myself signing up full time and doing it sort of casually on the Thursdays, enjoying it, and then ramping it up for the Showdown.
So very quickly before we let you go, this means, I guess, that we'll see you back in the commentary box next year.
yeah. Right now, I'm back in the booth.
But you know, you probably
those who can't do it become an announcer. That's what they call it. No, well done, mate. We do. Sorry, Adam.
I was just going to probably say exactly the same. Yeah, good to have you back. We'll probably be able to shed a bit more light on the inner workings of the Kia Optima than us two probably. So
I don't know about that.
Yeah. I have to say the finish to 2 was good as well. Getting past Cheppy and then getting involved with one of the Northern Lights racing cars, I think, at the end.
Checkers or wreckers? That's what it was. But no, it was good. Poor old Michael, he come in absolutely apologetic straight after that as well. So it was like, it's all good. I was like, I still finished 3rd. So
speaking of apologies, Alex, I have to make one now because I'm going to have to kick you out.
Thank you.
So we've got a lot of people waiting.
But
we will catch you obviously around on the channel, and we'll hopefully see you in the car at some point next year.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
See you, mate. Congratulations. Alex Simpson there.
Yeah, the interview room's quickly becoming like Santa's grotto here, but who's going to be next to be sitting on the knee? It's the AM champion, Chris Wood.
Hello. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's not quite sunk in yet, I don't think.
Well, as long as you haven't hit anybody, it should stay like that as well. Congratulations, mate. It was the most hard fought AM category that we can remember in quite some time, and that there was some, in terms of the amount of people involved until the end. That dropped round that we had a few weeks ago certainly made it very interesting. You've raced a few different series on this channel, and you seem to have had the same approach to pretty much all of them in terms of, you know, you approach it in a very consistent manner. I take it that has to be the way that you approach 2018.
Yeah, pretty much. Points make prizes, so you just need to keep the car tidy, just get to the end, calm and consistent.
So, in terms of the way you approach the races, do you have a specific way? I know some of the teams who, you know, maybe start right at the front have a certain pattern of the way they want the meeting to go. Do you have anything in mind, or is it just basically taking each race at a time?
I think it's really taking each race at a time. As a team, like I say, all we aim for is just make sure we get to the end and keep it consistent, because, as I said, you know, points make prizes. Yeah, it's one of those.
So, in terms of fighting, obviously, all the way through the season with the likes of Adam Hadfield, Magic Sakovic, and some of the other guys as well, Michael Blake, of course, as well, Mark Johnston. Is there anybody in particular who you really enjoyed racing this year more than anybody else?
I'd say it'd have to be Michael Blake. Every time we've got close to each other on the track, we've always just door-to-door racing, never any quabbles. If there is, you know, we've both apologised to each other. He's just such a fantastic racer, and a hats off to him for such a fantastic season he's had.
Yeah, so well, yeah, it was my team principal in Detroit in the summer as well, and it was always good to race for him. Hopefully, I can do that again at some point. But in terms of your title, this is your moment. So tell us about, you know, the sponsors and the team and anybody you'd like to thank.
I'd like to thank everyone in the team, really. You know, we've all been supporting each other. Everyone's just been really supportive. It's quite difficult to pinpoint anyone in particular. But obviously say thank you to the sponsors, STP, Phoenix, and our Fan Attack Association line that we have. It's been really good season. Just thank you to everyone.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Chris, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box, and obviously, and we'd like to hear from you some more in the future as well. So don't make this the last time.
No, I believe Sunday I'll be about for the Porsches. So we just have to see what happens there because we're in contention for that one as well. So hopefully some more silverware.
Well, good luck for that, and yeah, we'll see you. Are you going to be back for 2019?
Hit and miss at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see how the winter goes.
You'll probably be a pro now, mate.
Yeah, that's the concern.
Well, you've got all winter to stew over it, and probably a winter series as well if you want. So we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you.
Chris Wood there, and always good to speak with him. And he mentioned Michael Blake, Adam, and I think I'm going to find him to speak to yourself.
Indeed, yes. All the way. Michael Blake, he joins us in the commentary box now. Well done on the evening, and well done on the results in the championship too.
Thanks, guys. Really want to say congratulations to Chris for pushing so hard throughout the whole showdown. I gave him the best effort, but yeah, he was the better guy. Congrats to Wodge as well for winning the pro and overall, and congrats to the teams that have won. Mad have won the AM, and who's won the pro teams?
CQR.
Congrats to those guys as well. It's been a really good season. I've really enjoyed it.
Well, it's been a really good breakthrough year for SimMortal as well. Obviously, I'm sure Andrew Woodhouse in the car helped as well for that one race meeting. But of course, the highlight.
I mean, I didn't get zero, so there's something, isn't there?
The obviously the meeting a few weeks ago where you got the 1, 2, 3 will probably be the highlight of the year for you.
Yeah, we're really pleased at how we've come on. It's our first year of existence, and yeah, gonna hopefully keep moving forward. Thanks to all the drivers that have helped us out. Obviously, they've got the full-time guys: Mark, Adam, Ron Moons, myself, Matt Keeber, Lee Deemer. Nathan's come on board for the showdown, done a really good job for us, and you obviously Woody as well.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting me drive for you. Hopefully, it won't be the last time.
Welcome back anytime, mate. We'll always find a seat for you.
There you go. Hopefully, find one big enough.
Montreal next season, potentially.
It probably will be. Yeah, it probably will be.
Speaking of next season, Michael, what's the plans going to be for the team? Looking to go at it again for another year?
Yeah, we'll definitely be back in this full time. Obviously, we're going to be in the World GT full time. We're going to start trying to do a few more official events because as a team, other than the Enduros, we haven't actually entered anything. We're going to start to see if we can build a bit of momentum in those as well.
Great, and Alex was in here just for you. He was mentioning the finish at the end of the second race.
Yeah, I was bump drafting him and I didn't realise we were out of line as far as we were. I absolutely, my heart sank when he went round because I thought, right, well that's going to be an instant protest. That's going to do me in for the championship. But I say it was purely accidental. I was just tucked right up on his bumper. I didn't realise we were actually touching, and I'd moved up a little bit. I went to move back in line, and it just hooked him round. So sorry again, Alex.
It's probably after the line, to be honest. Yeah. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
You guys for the broadcasts, the winners of everyone that's won something this season, Drive Doctors and Go Kart World, our sponsors, and all the SimMortal drivers for making this be a fun.
Great, well done on a great year for SimMortal. First year in the BSRTC, haven't done too shabby whatsoever. So best of luck for next season, and thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Blake, there we do have most of the winning team here. In fact, I think we've got all of CQR pretty much here. So
should we get them?
Yeah, we've got team principal Ash Sutton, who doesn't really do interviews on Apex Racing, so we'll have him in.
Michael Hall.
Got Dave Baker. Got Jamie Rushworth.
We'll just bring the entire rabble in. I think is the best way to do it. Rushworth, there he is. Is that everybody? Have we missed anybody?
in terms of the CQR team, I would say that is it. We do have
Pete's had to disappear, I'm afraid, sorry.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
no.
there, unfortunately.
We do have Academy down there, but this is the winning team that has joined us. Well, I think it's only right that we speak to team principal, Ash Sutton. Evaluation of the year, you obviously missed out on the driver's title, but I'm sure you were mainly focused on getting the team's title over the line, and you were able to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, as a team, we didn't quite do it last season, so it was key to come back and clinch that back after our win a couple of seasons ago. And I have to say, I've not always been here, and the team have always functioned perfectly. They've been great, all of them. Obviously, Pete's not here; he's been fantastic too. So it's been a pleasure to work with them. And we had a little blip mid showdown, but tonight just proved how well we actually all work together. We had a real good chat before. Had a lot of support from the academy team, and everyone, all of us, all 10 of us, all knuckled down and banged heads together, come up with a plan tonight, and we managed to clear them by 100 points at the minute. So it's been a pleasure working with them all year. Can't thank them enough.
Obviously, there was the pain of Monza, where you and Dave ended up missing out on the fight for the driver's title going into this race meeting, but you were able to get a win in race 2, and you were able to push first Wodge in race 1, and then get up to 3rd place in race 3. So it was a pretty strong end to the season for you.
Yeah, definitely. Personally, for me, obviously, I never really get a chance to have a shot at the actual showdown and the title. This was the first time this year, just due to obviously the real world, and it's the level of the pro is so high now. It's always a tough battle. So congrats to Wodge and everyone else involved who was up for the title obviously this year, and even down to the AM. The level of drivers is so high. It just shows the race results. It's so up and down that one race has such a big knock-on effect, and that showed for me and Dave. It was a shame that we couldn't fight for it, but once that was kind of put aside, it was all focused back on the teams.
Well, you see, sorry, Adam, go on.
No, I was. If you got another question for Ash, it's fine.
Yeah, just one more. I was just saying, Ash, that when we started covering the series, and obviously you were in it season 6, and the standard of the drivers is just ridiculous now. When you look at some of the names who qualify sort of 28, 30 or 32nd, something like that, you think, that's a good standard, and it makes your job harder having to come through that in, say, races 2 and 3.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll be honest with you, I think I sweat more on my sim in my office than I do actually in the real thing. So the boys know how to put the pressure on, and it just, like tonight, just showed how much of a team game we had to play in the slipstream, etc., to actually even get, say, the front row and all of us up there in qualifying, because the level of drivers is so high. And it just shows that this championship isn't Mickey Mouse. I think Alex touched on it. You're not going to get racing like this anywhere else. It is fantastic, and that's why I use it. It only helps me in the real world. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure working with everyone. Thank you for the broadcast, guys. I know the boys want to have a few words, but no, for me it's over and out, and I appreciate you all.
Well, good to speak to you. We don't often get that chance, so come and join us a bit more next season, mate.
Yep, definitely.
Cheers, Ash.
All right. Ash Sutton there, and now let's have a look. Partner in crime, let's see. Dave Baker, hello.
Evening.
Now then, so driver's title obviously didn't go quite to plan for you this time round, but obviously the team effort was fantastic. Getting so many drivers, into good positions in the championship and showdown positions certainly, only bolstered that team's championship. So at the start of the season, did you take a different mentality in, more of a team mentality, or was it still sort of the same, where you worry about yourself and everything else falls into place?
It's the reverse of that. Worry about the team, and then everything else falls into place. If you're doing well in the team, you'll do well in the drivers generally. I mean, we got pretty much everybody into the show. Well, I think we got everybody into the showdown, which was an amazing effort, considering how tough the competition actually is. Yeah, the showdown didn't go quite my way, like it hasn't done the past couple of years, but to be in it against this level of competition, as Ash was saying, is an amazing effort from everybody involved in the team.
In terms of any favourite memories of this season, do you have any personally, or what do you think?
Going back to, was it Phillip Island, the first race again? I think I managed to get my win there, which means I've run that all 3 years on the bounce. So that was always a nice way to start, to pick up some wins early on in the season. Had a bit of a drought, but I think we came back strong in the showdown as well. Just, luck didn't go our way, but the battles were just as intense as they have been throughout the whole of the season. It's been a cracking year to take part in. So yeah, really, really chuffed with the effort that everybody's put in.
No pressure at all then for Phillip Island next year to try and make it 4. Jamie Rushworth's here as well.
Hello.
Jamie, it's great to see you back in the championship on a regular basis, and have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been a great year. Always enjoy racing with these guys. It's always a laugh, and we take it seriously when it matters. I mean, this week or today has just been probably the most intense day of racing I think we've had since the start of racing here. We just really knuckled down and made sure we got the job done.
And that's really what this series has become. I was saying to Ash that it's kind of, and me and Adam say we pretty much say every week. Back in 2014, you could have a bad day and finish 6th or 7th. Now, if you have a bad day, you're 27th.
That's being lucky as well.
Yeah. That's it. But how much has the standard increased from your point of view, Jamie, since you started?
Well, I won my first season, so that tells you everything. I've only been backwards since I started. But yeah, I mean, there's so many good drivers here, and I imagine if there's some drivers from when I started as well, if they came back, it could only get better. Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, you think you've done a good lap and you qualify 10th.
Whereas before that would have been pole or second or
exactly, yeah,
or something like that. From a personal point of view, then, are you going to be back for next season, next 2019?
That's the plan, yeah. Hoping for a different car, perhaps, but if not, I'll still be here anyway. Yeah, but, you can't pass.
What's it going to take personally to challenge for that title again?
You're not taking him out.
That as well.
Staying on the track is a good start, but I'm going to have to practice a little more. I think I lost something when that year off. Not been quite as fast, but work hard. I'll get back at it.
Well, hopefully it can come together for you. And I believe, Adam, you've got Michael Hall there.
Yeah, Michael Hall, the last of the CQR car speaks to us, but last doesn't mean least. Talk us about your... Yeah, that was a botched intro, I think. But
yeah, can we start again? Take 2.
Got me on
the last one, so you're the least important. So
yeah. I'm used to it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's normal.
Still, a decent run in the showdown for you. Obviously, weren't able to get to the heights of where the Apex cars were, but still a decent run for you.
Yeah, it's not too bad. My aim was just to get into the showdown. Really, I'm never gonna challenge for the title for the drivers, so it's all about the teams after that for me. It's the 10th anniversary for the team this year as well. Yeah, I mean, our main thing is we're a bunch of mates who have a laugh, and sometimes we take it seriously. But the main thing is that we just enjoy what we do, and it's such a tough championship now. It's ridiculous. As everyone said, you think you've put in a brilliant lap in qualifying, and you P15. The standard's gone up, so it's really high now.
The highlight of your season, though, must be the win at Suzuka. I think one of the toughest tracks we go to.
I don't actually remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
Head like a sieve, I think the term there is. I'll say it for you boys, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to get a win, but like I said, I'm probably the slowest one of the team, so my aim every week is just to support all the other boys and just pick up the points. A lot of internet problems for me this year. I think I disconnected from about 8 race ones, so to get in the showdown with that was pretty good. But yeah, see what happens next year. I'll definitely be back. I can't stay away.
Because you're probably one of the most experienced drivers in the Kia. I remember you even doing the Champions Future series many years ago as well. So
we were talking about this, and there was a video floating about of when Mike decided to take me out.
Yeah, I beat Ash to the championship twice in that.
was that on the other? Was that on another broadcasting channel?
Another broadcasting channel.
Where they got quite excited. Yeah, I
another
think
commentator wetting themselves, I think. But
yeah, been in the kart for a long time. I think it's about time iRacing helped us out with something new, because I personally think it's one of the best leagues that's out there. You don't get any better racing than this. So if they could finally give us a car, that'd be nice.
You might have to get your team principal to try and hook them up with some.
Oh, I've tried, but he can't be bothered.
Whoa. I think you boys understand the game I'm against.
That's it. Dear. Well, hey, look, new car or not, hopefully we see you all back and fighting fit and ready for 2019.
Pleasure.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The Pro Teams champions for this season, CQR.
And I think that should about do it, mate, because I think that is just about enough interviews for one day. But I have to say, it's been an absolute pleasure, Adam, again, to be working with you this season. No Alex Simpson in the commentary box, but like I say, I kind of half hope he's here next time, and I half hope to see him on the track. It's a bit of a difficult one.
Yeah, it'll be good to have him back as well. Obviously, thanks to Sam, who's helped us on the camera tremendously this year, getting to grips with a new overlay as well, and many different commentary teams that have helped stand in for us, for one of us or both of us over the course of the season too.
That's it. Like without Sam, we couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying without Sam we couldn't do it at all, but it would have been very, very difficult.
It is a big commitment.
So thank you very much.
Say. Yeah, every Thursday for pretty much every Thursday from March all the way through to beginning of December, really. So.
And he's the master of the Wheel of Fortune as well. Don't forget that.
I bet you missed that.
I'll tell you what, Sam. Have you got any words for us at the end of the season? Because you've done 66 reverse grid spins. You've had all these cameras to work with. You had over 50 cars in many of the races. How's it been for you? I think in your first full season of doing it.
Well, I mean, we made it this far without too many difficulties.
The important thing is that we survived.
Yes, and we got the wheel spins going with the music and everything. So right now I'm just looking forward to next season, and also the winter series with the Radical. So that's gonna be interesting change of pace.
Yeah. You've still got the Porsche, haven't you, coming up?
Yeah, we got one more race this Sunday, and then that's over as well.
Maybe we can have a well-earned break for it'll be week 13 after that, won't it? So and then we'll be getting the new cars. Adam, do they tickle your fancy at all? Getting back into the game, F3 and Renault 3.5.
Well, I need a desk and I need a wheel, but I think
in that order.
Yeah, wheel. Maybe I could put the wheel on my lap. I don't know, but there you go. We'll wait and see with that one. But yeah, those cars do look pretty good. Plus the new Charlotte Roval as well.
No doubt we'll see that in the BSRTC next year. That'll be quite a good one for the touring cars, I think.
Yeah, we love a new track
going forward. In terms of
that chicane as well on the run to in the tri-oval.
Oh dear! And now in terms, there'll be cars flying everywhere. Now in terms of this season, obviously I've missed quite a lot of it, to be honest. In the middle part, but so you're probably better to give an appraisal of it. Who do you think has been your driver of the season in terms of, who surprised you, or maybe just who's done the best? I mean, obviously Wojciech Swidericz is the champion, but who's done the best job for you in terms of maybe a pro and an am?
I'd say Ross McFarlane in the pros.
Yeah.
Finished in third. Managed to pick up 2 wins as well, 10 podiums, 38 top 10s, and managed to do pretty well in terms of the showdown. In terms of the AM category, looking how it finished there, I'd say Mark Johnston. And how he and the Immortal team have managed to really make a championship fight out of all of that.
Because the thing with Johnston is I think he's always been quick. He just hasn't always been sort of consistent enough and avoided the accidents and things like that. So, oh, by the way, I think, sorry, I've just realised, I think we should get an interview with at least one person from Team Mad, really, if we can. Because obviously they've won the AM category as well. I mean, we did have a brief chat with Chris Wood. Now then. Hello, Paul.
This is an aggressive takeover of Apex Racing TV, ladies and gentlemen, right now.
Well, we've just found the Team Mad driver. Hello, how are we doing?
Yeah, that was tense in that Discord channel right there. That was hard work, but we did it how we've done it all season, just with consistency. That's
very well earned.
That's what we've been aiming for. Yeah, and hats off to the others that were challenging us for it, so like Simorpal and also NLR Scuderia Haggis. They put in a really good effort and pushed us hard, so we had to be on the top of our game, and that's exactly what we did right there.
And a really, really good, really, really good last meeting as well. Like, there was a lot of fun out there. You were in the thick of it all the way through, right in the midfield, and in what, am I right, is potentially your last season?
In this car, definitely. I won't do this series in this car again.
Will you come back for the odd one or two every now and again, or is it a complete sort of I've had it with the Kia Optima?
We'll see what happens, but it's time to retire the Kia. We need a new car. Yeah. Hint, hint. iRacing.
We do need another touring. We do need another touring car, really. I think the Kia. The Kia's been fantastic, but we need something that's more akin to what we see on TV every week. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that's a bit slower as well, and because I think this is more like a GT car at the speed of it, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, or GT.
So,
yeah.
Need something that's a bit more, maybe a bit harder to drive, and maybe a bit slower, so it probably balances itself out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But probably easier to drive, but harder to drive fast. That's what I mean. I think.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, Andrew. It's been a long night for you.
It's been a very long week. It was, with all the Black Friday sales and all the, oh dear, all that business. Yeah, I've my brain's gone to mush. But Paul, it's always good to catch up with you. It's always good to see you in the commentary box, and maybe we'll get you up here for a couple of rounds next season as well if all goes well.
Just want to say thanks to Fanatec, to the Simon Racing Report, Smile Time Productions, Phoenix Racing, and Coventry University Formula Student Team, and also a special shout out to Calder Rescue, volunteer motorsport outfit, rescue unit who helped out run motorsport events, and there will be a small donation made to them because they are, as I said, a group of volunteers. So small donation from ourselves to them for us supporting them.
Perfect. Right, Paul, thank you very much, mate. We've gone past 11 o'clock.
Okay,
so I think we're going to call it, but it's always good to talk to you, and we'll see you next time.
No worries.
See you, mate. Paul Smith there, Adam, and without further ado, that wraps up the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
There we go, another season gone. In March, we embarked on the season in Phillip Island in Australia, and now we end it on the other side of the world in Florida. That by no means, that does not mean though that the action is finished here on Apex Racing TV. As you'll have heard, we've got the BSR Porsches coming up this weekend, their final race campaign too, and then we've got some winter action as well to whet your appetite for when the BSRTC gets going again in March next year. Thanks to everybody that's watched, liked, subscribed over the course of the season. We couldn't really do it without you, really. And all that's left to say is goodbye from Andrew.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.